Trump. You know, it would be nice. It would be nice if the playing field was fair, and it's not.
No, but it's not. You know, it's not. Come on, it's like it never was fair. It's they just playing it different. That's all it is. It's you know, people.
Yeah, like today, you CNN just talks about COVID all the time.
Yeah,
you know, that's their topic.
That's their
and you go to Fox, it's a Trump rally.
Yeah, where? But I have a question for everybody here.
Yeah.
You know, with the COVID, the scamdemic and all that shit. And this is my question. And this has been bothering me for a long, long time, ever since this bullshit started. I want to know, how are people, you know, once the cat's out the bag, how are they going to go back to what we call normal? In other words, you go out, no mask, just, you know, hey, what's going on? You know, go partying, you know. When is that going to happen? November 4th? Is that when it's going to happen? Because I don't see it happening at all. It's going to be like this forever, I think. Right. You know, people are going to wear masks. It's going to change the whole shit. Right. You know, like there was a guy that came in the store the other day. He didn't have a mask. So the customers asked him, how come we don't have a mask? Well, I don't need a mask.
Yeah. Well, even when the vaccine comes out.
Me, are you going to serve him? Yeah, he says, are you going to serve him? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to serve him. Oh, why you should? I said, look, I don't give a shit if he wears a mask, if he doesn't wear a mask. I'm serving him, and that's it. So I served him, and he walks away. And then another guy came with a mask, and one of the clerks asked him, how come you don't have a mask? I'll give you a mask. He went, no, I don't want a mask. You know, like, this is the problem. Everybody's falling for this bullshit, and everybody's going along. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like with you. I'm like, what do you want? I give him the cheese. He leaves. And then they're like, oh, well, I said, come on, man. You know, I've been yelling scamdemic all these months. You know, like, you think I really believe? I'm glad this guy got balls. I wish I had the balls like him. I mean, I will wear no mask because I wear a shield. But if I wear no mask, they won't let me to work. They won't let me work, or they won't let me, you know, wherever I'm doing. You know,
when it's going to change. Well, first of all, the problem with the vaccine, potentially, I mean, I got a flu shot, okay, but I get a flu shot every year because the virus, that's the flu virus, the A and B flu virus, changes every year. So you got to get a different, and it doesn't necessarily stop you from getting all the flus. Is this particular COVID thing is that kind of virus? So is a vaccine going to keep it forever, or is it only going to do it year to year, or what? I don't know. I haven't heard one way or the other on that.
I think this virus is like everything else. It's just another cold that they don't quite understand yet, and they make it out to be this deadly, flesh-eating, human-killing thing. Oh, but you know, you're responsible for 200,000 deaths. I said, no, he's not. And people are going to die any fucking way. Even if there was no COVID, people are going to die. Well, what do you think? If you keep numbers of people dying, of course the numbers are going to go up. And if you keep making it seem that, oh, COVID is so bad, and you're giving me the numbers of how many people are infected, well, I don't give a shit about that number. The only number I want is how many people are killed. That's really the only number I want. Everything else don't matter to me. I don't give a fuck.
But you know what? Listen, you also have to look at the people who died when they died. A lot of more people died in the beginning because they had no clue. And a lot of the people who died in New York and Connecticut and New Jersey and were old people. And see, this is where I was wondering, Richard's not here. It's almost like, could you bring Murphy and Cuomo and whatever up on charges of involuntary manslaughter? Because those assholes sent the old people to the nursing home. And that really caused a lot, and VA hospitals, that's caused a lot of deaths.
Well, that's because that's the irresponsibilities of the senior, or wherever the senior homes. They're always responsible for these. Put it this way, it just goes to show that all these homes, they're properly not desanitized at all. They never been that way. They've always been dirty. They don't do shit. So of course, anything that goes in there is going to be, everybody's going to get infected. Everybody.
Well, but you have people in those places that have other problems. You had old people going, and you put, you know, I agree that there are places that are not set up for that, but but when you have a disease like that that's very contagious, and you start sticking more people in a space than maybe they even, because they didn't have any room either. Now, and you know, my ex-wife, she works in one. She got the COVID thing because
Harry, what's up?
people in her thing. She works in a senior city. They got it because the place was stuffed with people. You know, they're all together all day, and they don't have the kind of things that were necessary for that.
But she didn't die, right, Lenny? She didn't die.
No, she didn't.
All right,
but you know, no, she didn't die. And look, we had a 74-year-old man who had, in 3 days, he was back to normal. We had a big, fat, disgusting former governor of New Jersey who took 5 days to get back. I mean, well, now Pence had. Pence tested positive the other day too. But these old guys, they're making it through, and that's part of the narrative too, that they don't want to say anything about that. By the way, something big happened this week in the Middle East, that Israel and another Middle East country have signed an agreement. That wasn't even put out on the news. If you didn't,
I heard that. Yeah,
right. You know, more conservative. What, you wouldn't have even known about it if that had been, you know, one of the other. Forget it. It would have been. Oh my God, they're bringing nothing.
Yeah, I heard nothing about it. I just heard Trump says we got another country coming along, and I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's, I mean, but they don't put anything out there for that.
I hate to break the news, but they'll never be peace in the Middle East. Never.
Well, no, yeah. I mean,
they'll never be peace because, you know, them signing agreements don't mean crap. That don't mean nothing. I mean, I understand that it was done, and that's good because it showed at least, you know, the effort. But I feel that there'll never be peace anywhere. Not here.
Yes, she is.
There's never peace anywhere. There ain't gonna be no peace nowhere. Unless you get a piece of ass, that's it. You know, you get a little piece.
Hey, Emma.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Miss Emma.
Oh,
but,
you get a ladies
little
about here.
Then that's the only piece you're gonna get. Otherwise, there's no room. And human life is not peaceful.
And what else we got?
Well, no, but they've been fighting in that region forever. It's just almost ingrained. It's going to be hard to stop.
It's part of life. It's part of life.
Yeah, they're still dropping rockets over there once.
Oh God, they're dropping. It's every single day. This is nothing new. Is like everything else. You know, all over the world, they're fighting that way all the time. All over Southeast Asia, all over Africa, all over you know the Middle East. You know, like, you know, people talk and they don't even know. They have no idea what's going on in Kosovo. They have no idea what's going on in Albania. You know, they don't know. They have no idea. Albania. What's that got to do with it? Well, it happens. I mean, Montenegro, you have, you know, all these Albanians that are running away because they're running all over to Europe. They're like, shit, we ain't staying here. And then they end up here and they go, wow, this is the best place I'm stopping at because I can really, you know, do things here. And the Albanians, you know, people don't talk about that. They don't even know what the hell happened over there. They have no idea how the Serbs went in there and tried to kill everybody. But nobody talks about that.
Well, we got a vaccine. I was watching the news like at 2 o'clock in the morning. The Russians have a vaccine. Apparently, they're using.
With the vaccine, it's all bullshit. Come on, stop with the scamdemics, man. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype, bro.
It's not going to be mandatory. It's not going to be mandatory.
And who's going to take it anyway?
It's all bull. Listen, this vaccine shit ain't going to stop it. You're still going to get it. You're going to get a cold. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it.
Well, it depends. I mean, there are vaccines against viral diseases. There are. You, for example, you have, you know, like polio. You can get or smallpox. It depends. But those viruses mutate. Actually, we all because we're all had we got the smallpox vaccination, but most likely, if you know, it wouldn't be that good anymore because the virus has had chance to mutate. So, you know, we'd actually need to get either another one or a different one in order for it to be effective.
Why is it that we have to follow what these big pharma and medical people are doing? We already know they're crooked. They want to fuck us, but yet we still buy their shit. This is the part I don't get. It's like you keep bull with this. This scamdemic is the biggest shit I ever heard in my life. I talk to people and they look at me like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking." I said, "Let me tell you, I'm 66 years old. I should be dead already. You know, I should be done. But I'm not. I'm here bothering you to let you know, mind your fucking business. Worry about you. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about the guy next to you. Worry about you, because that's what people do. They're like, oh, I'm worried, but who cares? Nobody's in my house watching me. Are you okay, Julio? Even my doctor, she cares so much. You don't care. Like, the only thing you care is like, I'm showing up so you guys can make more money. That's all you want to do. Nobody calls me and says, how you doing in the middle of the day? Julio, I know you're sick, and I just want to see how you're doing. No, I don't get them calls. I'll get a call like, from my friends or my family, but somebody who's supposed to care and get paid. No, they don't care. So
No.
my idea is, look, we got to worry about ourselves. We're our own domain. We do our own thing. If you want to stay healthy, that's on you. If you don't want to stay healthy, that's on you too. If you're gonna die a certain way, like if you have disease and you don't take care of it, that's on you. It's like, I can't do nothing. I have to mind my own business. I have to worry about the Julio.
Right.
Lenny got to worry about the Lenny. Joel got to worry about the Lenny. Even Emma got to worry about the Emma. And the Reverend got to worry about the Rev.
Yeah. Look.
And if we take care of our own shit, everything else will be taken care of. It's just that we're so busy.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Business instead of minding your own business.
There is. You can't completely discount science. I'm not going to do that. I mean,
no, I'm not.
There are people that are, and there are a lot of drugs out there that have really helped a lot of people. I mean, in a lot of ways. For example, now, I mean, if you have AIDS now, you can take a cocktail of drugs and you'll be okay. And there's even a new one. They're saying that you can't transmit it if you take this drug. So there's a lot of things that science has done that are tremendous.
But what it is that when it comes to the AIDS virus, you have what you call a viral load. If your viral load is a certain amount, you can't transmit it. But once it becomes undetectable, very low, then you can't transmit it.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that it goes away, and it doesn't reverse it.
Right. No, I understand that. No, I know that's what it means. It doesn't go away, but you're not dying.
Yeah, but that's new. What you just said about not transmitting it, they just came out with that. Because people been low, they've been undetectable for 20, 30 years. And nobody ever mentioned that before. All of a sudden, oh, okay, as long as you're undetectable, you don't have to spread it. You spread other things called babies. How about babies that you can't take care of? How about that? That's a bad disease by itself. A baby you cannot take care of.
I just want to be like the Terminator. You see, he got another heart surgery over there. Speaking of science, Arnold
took so many drugs and so many steroids and steroids definitely, when you affect your heart, it's bad for your heart. So he took more of that crap than you could ever imagine, and he took it back in the days when they had no idea how it affected.
He took a thing called anabolics.
Yeah, well,
anabolics.
Those guys took everything, and they would just take more and more and more. They had no clue. Nowadays they have a little bit better understanding of what it does and how to take it.
It's surprised that he took all that and he had sex with his housemaid, but I don't think I don't think Johnson will work after taking all that shit. It'll shrink to like this big, and then that's it. It'll look like a head.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you're on it, I guess you're feeling pretty powerful.
I'm sorry, it's the one eye. That's it. It becomes very. You ever notice these big guys? You ever notice their swimsuits were like real small? Like shit, man. As big as you are, that's it. A little bag of marbles over here. Let me put this over here. Like,
he has a lot of kids too. He must take a lot of testosterone with it, with the steroids.
It's amazing. And I was in the business when it was blowing up. When we had Lee Haney's and you had the Schwarzenegger and the Joe Weider came out with his magazine. I was smack in the middle of that business, and it always turned me off. Always. It's like, ugh, you guys are nasty. You're gonna kill yourself with that shit.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of those guys have died because of all the stuff they took.
Of course.
They died young. He's relatively old considering what he did to
yeah.
himself.
I mean,
Because-
you get Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you know, like he started all that. You know, when he came down here from Austria, wherever the hell he came from, and, you know, he was already in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
and then, so these guys, they started like Joe Weider. You know, you ever heard of Joe Weider?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
can see
Joe
that.
Weider never ever won a contest. Never. He never won a weight contest. He was a weightlifter, but he wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't a champion or nothing like that. So he decided to make a magazine, and then now, when people win a champ, what did they win? They win the Joe Weider Award.
Right. Remember, he used to have the buckets of that formula he used to have, like in big buckets in the
The
in
biz
the
bucket,
stores.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to build
He
stuff, I never
actually,
touched that
you know
stuff.
who was but I think the real brains behind that was his brother. Ben Weider was his brother, was the real.
Yes, Ben Weider, yeah.
He was
Ben
smart.
Weider was the one who put together the magazine.
Yeah, and his wife was in great shape too. Joe Weider's wife was.
If you really want to go, the guy who really was the best in the sense of exercising had to be Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne was such in great shape. I mean, was in great shape. And he used to swim with a barge across the river, pushing a barge. And he was 70-something years old. And people were like, oh, isn't that amazing? That a 76-year. I said, man, I'm 30 years old. I can't do that. What are you, crazy?
You know what his best tip was? His best tip was breathe. Breathe once, breathe twice. Just breathe. You know, that's number one.
Air. You need air.
Just need air. Start with that.
Well, I've met Frank Zane and Robbie Robinson and Tom Platz. I met all those, and Bill Pearl. I met all those guys. They're pretty funny. They all they did was work out. Bill Pearl would get up at 2 a.m. to work out. He was crazy. You know, it's funny. Talk about breathing. Somebody posted about. I guess she had some problem. She had to go get her blood analyzed a few months ago, and her CO2 levels were like here, and she just had to go recently, and her CO2 levels are up here, and there she said the only thing she could think of was having to wear the mask. I was in store yesterday. I'm walking around. I'm looking, all healthy people, thousands of healthy people I saw yesterday, all wearing masks.
Oh, wait a minute.
You know, you look at it and you go, for what? You know, I mean, it's kind of stupid when you think about it. I mean, I know, and if you don't wear it, you're going to have some jerk off coming up to you, and you're going to all get in a fight.
Like that one guy was telling on the other guy, we're like, oh, how come you're not wearing a mask? He goes, I should go kick him in his teeth. I'm like, why? Why do you care? You're not living with the guy. He ain't coughing on you. What do you care? He's like, oh, well, you know, you still going to serve him? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to serve him. Well, I don't care. Like, he ain't bothering me. I got a shield on. If he's gonna come and get me, he's gonna get me. Who cares? But I'm not worried about it. Who cares? Like, look, we're still in America, the last I heard. And like nobody can tell you what to do. If you feel that if you feel that threatened, then move away. Do the more do 12 feet. That way you double, you double like
You got Fauci saying wear a mask before he said not wear a mask. You don't know what to do. You got to just make your own decision.
Full of shit, all of them. All of them. I look. It comes to my conclusion that the experts, they're really not experts. They're just talking.
Well, you can go. Listen, you could have something wrong with you, and you can go to 2 doctors that are specialists,
and they'll give you.
You can get 2 different, not completely different, but 2 different opinions about what you should or shouldn't do. Because some of it depends on whether the doctor, is a pessimist or an optimist. The way they present it and all. And anybody who's and there's experts who come out and they say something and they don't even put it out there because it doesn't agree with the narrative. I was watching something this week. John Stossel was doing something on global warming. And he had 3 people who were, one is a professor at University of Delaware in environmental stuff. Another guy's the head of a national whatever, and the third guy's another professor. These 3 guys are telling the whole global warming thing is way overblown. And John Stossel wanted to set up a debate with three particular individuals that are, global warming is here, it's going to kill us, it's coming, and we're not going to stop it. And he wanted to have these 2 sides debate each other, but the global warming people didn't show up.
Oh, they didn't show up?
No. And the 3 guys were not just like crazy people. They were scientists. Like I said, one is a like professor at University of Delaware, the head of whatever environmental, and he's, you know, and they were bringing up things like, well, this was going to happen. Well, no, this, you know, they're going back and they're saying, you know, the Earth has been getting warmer and all kinds of stuff, and it's not necessarily, it's not that there's not greenhouse gases and not that there's not things going on, but with what they're saying and what the global warming thing is saying, it's just not completely true.
Believe
it's
me,
like, it's perspective.
Before we die of all that, we're gonna die of something else. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, but you do want to have your children and their children's
No,
children.
you don't understand. When I'm dead, I don't give a fuck what happened. It had nothing to do with me. I'm out.
All right,
I'm out.
no.
Look, I love my children as long as I'm alive. Once I'm dead, you ain't gotta love me no more. You ain't have to remember me. I'm out. I'm bye-bye now. Bye-bye. I can't worry about my generation. You know why? Because it's none of my business. Because my generation's gonna do whatever they want. Look, my kids are gonna do whatever they want anyway. I can tell them till I'm blue in the face, don't do that, man. Don't do it. But they do it anyway. So you know what you do? You say, you know something? Just do whatever you want. Do what you think is good for you, because there's nothing you're gonna do about it. And I understand, Lenny. We're in our 60s. Emma, she's what? You're 43, right, Emma? 43.
66.
Yeah, okay. And you know,
November 10th.
And by the way, I'm not in my 60s.
Reverend, no, you're not. You're in your 70s. 80s?
I'm in the 60s with you.
You're in the 60s. You're in your 80s.
I'm gonna say mid 60s. Although
Okay, look, you're
getting
around,
older.
Lenny. I mean, you had a good life. You know, you moved around. You have a girlfriend. Junior still works. You still get satisfaction. That's a good thing, man. Not everybody ain't that lucky. There's some people at 60. Junior's gone. It's like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Your kids are grown already. You've done what you can do. You know, those days are over.
But,
You know?
but them days, whether they're over or not over, there's nothing we could do about our future, and there's nothing you can do about your past. Global warming is bullshit. You know why? Because the earth will take care of itself like it always does. You know, like it's gonna have storms, we're gonna have green gas, but so what? We're so arrogant as human beings, we think we can hurt the earth. Really? Yeah, you got another thing coming.
Well,
How does
no,
that
you can.
no.
Wow.
Yeah, you can affect. We
Well.
can affect the earth around us. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it only kills us. It ain't gonna kill the earth. That's the difference. See, people worried about the earth, but it's not the earth. It's in reality, they're worried about, oh, it's gonna kill us. Yeah, but we're not killing the earth. The earth is not gonna die for you or for anybody. I don't care how much pollution we throw up in here. We could throw pollution, and then people that don't want to pollute anymore are the same people that don't want to give up. It's like, look, it's like if you want a revolution, you got to give up your life, right? You got to give up. You know, you got to be willing to give up your life.
Yeah.
No, you won't kill the earth. It'll just adapt.
But once you give up your life, then what? Then what?
Well, no, the idea is that
The
yes, the
revolution
planet
goes
would
on.
still be here, but it might be like Mars where there's no life.
Right.
That's
Or
the
like
issue.
you see the movie Waterworld, because the polar ice caps are
Waterworld,
melting.
Yeah,
We'll just we'll just live in water. That's
Well,
doable.
but you know where New York City is, where New York City is, where New Jersey is, where Florida is, that was all underwater at one time, and something caused that to recede. That the Earth went through some periods of cold, and then it gets warm. But so over the 4.5 billion years that there's been an Earth, all of this stuff has gone on back and forth. But there's we definitely are affecting what's going on around us, and it's not a bad idea to try and stop doing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what it is. It's a process, right? Like in the beginning, we had coal, we're dirty, and then now, pretty soon we'll have electric cars, and then there's no pollution on that, and then we'll take care of another way of heating up the house. We'll find another way of moving around. But in the meantime, we're still here. Lenny, for God's sakes, you're over 80, dude, and you're still around, and you lived in the fucking worst part of the life. We're talking about the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and then now you deal with the Trump business. Look. If it was that bad, we'd be dead already. We wouldn't even be talking here. Our 60s people over 60 in this new panel here, we won't be here. We'll be dead because, it's that bad. But it's not really that bad. It's like people are not conscious. People are pigs anyway, right? They're dirty. You ever see? I watch people in my car in the parking lot, they have their mask on, and they take it over, they drop it right on the floor. Right on the fuck, like nothing. Like, like nothing.
Yeah, that's gross. Yeah.
And then I roll out the window and go, hey, what the fuck? They go, what? So you just throw it on the floor there. That's really, and they don't even pick it up. They just get back in their car and keep going. You're like, so you throw it on the fucking floor. I said, you know, you can leave it in your dirty ass car because your car's dirty any fucking way. Another little mask ain't gonna hurt it any. But
You know,
they do it
Julio,
anyway.
I was in a
Right.
store that was selling like
Oh.
masks, different fancy ones and shit. They had to put up a sign that said, "Not allowed to try on any of the masks."
That's a good one.
People were trying them on.
I guess people coming in and they, oh, how's this look? And then put it back and try another one.
No,
Like,
no,
are
you
you
well,
kidding
can't
me?
do
well,
that. No,
Well, some
no,
are kind
no.
of cute with little, little lips on
Yeah,
it
no,
and
yeah,
all
they're
that.
funny,
you know.
but
That's
still.
all.
We should have a mask called Real People Get Funny. Like,
Yeah.
Figured
All
out.
right, and on that note, we're going to do our trivia real quick.
Okay.
Angel's not here, so I'll read the questions and I'll give the answers. And here we go.
I
Let's
can make
start. You what? Ben, what'd you say?
I can make those masks happen, by the way.
Ben knows how to make the mask happen. Any specialized mask you want.
let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Little plug for his second business. All right, here we go with the trivia. Let's start with, just go across the way of my screen. Let's start with Ben, also known as Ken Barron.
That's me.
All right, here we go. This week she said, stop using my nickname to certain types of people. She is Jenny from the block, AOC, or Emma Jean, the killer Foster.
What's the question
Stop
for?
doing what to my nickname?
She said, stop using my nickname to certain
Okay.
people. She is Jenny from the block, AOC, or Emma Jean, the killer Foster.
I'm
AOC.
gonna go with
It's
I'm gonna
not
go
your
with Jenny
question,
from the
Julio.
block.
No,
Jenny for the block.
no, it wasn't. It was AOC, and actually Julio said the answer. But
It is.
Oh.
I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit, Ken Barron, for Julio answering for you. It was not Emma Jean, the killer Foster, right, Emma Jean?
No.
Okay. All right, let's go to question number 2. Again, Angel has a migraine today, so not on the show.
Too bad.
Adele, the singer, Julio, the singer Adele lost substantial weight on what diet?
She looked awesome.
She lost a lot of weight. She lost another Adele. She was on what diet? The Stillman water diet, the Cert food diet, or the pearl necklace diet? Lenny got that one. Adele, the singer. She lost a lot of weight. She had
Probably
what diet?
the first one you said.
No, sorry. You gave credit to Ben for an answer, but now you blew it on your own question. It was the Cert food diet.
The
And
what food?
Cert, S-A-R-T food diet. Apparently, there's something in nature called the sirtuin. It's sirtuin, like it's like they distill it from a plant, and
Okay.
you can eat as much as you want of something based on that, and then they have other. Obviously, they let you eat a few other things just to sweeten it up.
The pearl
The pearl
necklace
necklace
is the one
diet.
I would
Yeah.
hope she would prefer.
We'll leave that
Pearl necklace.
pearl necklace
I just
diet. We'll leave that. Ian Emmons laughing at that, so we know we don't have to explain it. Okay.
Swallow that.
Like I always say, stick out your tongue first. Anyway. All right. Anyway, very good, guys. I like this. You got it. Thin, rich, and white describes, Lenny, the following, or one of the following. Thin, rich, and white describes one of the following. Group founder Gwyneth Paltrow, of Vogue, and Vogue is in quotation marks, style, or Reverend Ken Barron. Thin, rich, and white describes group founder Gwyneth Paltrow, of Vogue, style, or Reverend Ken Barron. Which one is it?
Well, I know it's not 3.
Ouch, Ben. Ouch. He's thin and he's white, but he's not rich. Apparently, is what you're getting.
I'll
at?
say I'll say 1.
No, it describes a Vogue style. Anna Wintour was cited this week. She's come out with a black issue of her magazine Vogue, and people are saying, "Oh, that's too little, too late." She always favored thin, rich, and white, and she would always say that's the style of Vogue. Anyway, moving on.
I thought that was Madonna. Let's vogue. Right.
All right. This week, this is for Joel. This week it's been called anti-Trump. No, I'm sorry. This week it's been called an anti-China, pro-Trump media empire. It is number 1, this show. Number 2, the Epoch Times. Number 3, Fox News.
Anti-China.
Trivia time.
Trump media empire. This week it's been called an anti-China, pro-Trump media empire. It is number 1, this show. Number 2, the Epoch Times. Number 3, Fox News. Which one is it?
Okay. I never heard of Epoch Times. Fox News.
Nope, Epoch Times.
Epoch Times.
It's from the same people who brought you what's known as the Falun Gong in China. And they are supposedly a religious organization that's being persecuted by the Chinese in China. And a number of years ago, I think within the last 5, they started this newspaper called the Epoch Times, and they get a lot of contributions. And they're anti-China and they're pro-Trump. Okay, moving on. Emma, you ready? Yes?
I think so.
Okay, she's thinking it over whether she's ready or not. But in the meantime, I ask the question. This airport has been under construction for 14 years, and it's $4 billion, count them, over budget. This airport has been under construction for 14 years and is $4 billion over budget, and it's about to open. It is LaGuardia Airport. Number 2, Berlin Airport. Number 3, Mayor-Pack Airport.
Number 1.
LaGuardia Airport? Well, no. LaGuardia is messed up and probably was tremendously over budget. But
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah, it's taken 14 years for them to build the Berlin Airport. It's so out of date that they have accoutrements that started in the 90s. So it looks like a 90s airport. And they actually hired extras to walk around the airport pretending they're passengers and pretending they're people who are, trying to give them trouble or whatever, because they don't want the airport to not be used. They had to go through testing, and they're about to open this week. It's 14 years and $4 billion over budget. And don't think that the Germans are not mad about that, because they are. All right, moving on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where do these questions come from? We're not getting any right.
I had one right, but he gave it to Ken Barron. Who gave an answer to Ken Barron?
Oh, all right.
Joel, since you're asking that question, here's a question for you.
Gotta make it easy.
She said, don't vote for Kanye West for president. She is Angel Frey, Taylor Swift, or Jennifer Aniston. She said, don't vote for Kanye West for president. She is Angel Frey, Taylor Swift, or Jennifer Aniston. Who is it, Joel?
Oh.
Well, I know him and Taylor Swift has some issues, so I'll go with Taylor Swift.
You're absolutely wrong. It is Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston put a tag on one of her commercials or something on YouTube and said, and by the way, don't vote for Kanye West as a joke because it's going to take a vote away from Biden. So there you have it. All right, let's move on. This should be easy for Lenny. Lenny, hold on, let me get that question up. Lee Kun-hee, I said it right. Lee Kun-hee just died. He was the what? Vice President of South Korea, Chairman of Samsung, or the chef at my last wedding. Lee Kun-hee just died. He was, number 1, the Vice President of South Korea. Number 2, the Chairman of Samsung. Number 3, the chef at my last wedding.
Was his brother-in-law One Hung Lo?
His last name is He, so you be the judge.
I'd say he's the Samsung guy.
You are correct. He was the chairman of Samsung, a Korean, and I love that about his death, of course. Next, let's go with Julio. Julio, you should know this answer. He starred in my favorite movie, Almost Famous, and both he and I have lived in Manhasset, Long Island. He is, number 1, Matt Hochstrasser. Number 2, Billy Crudup. Number 3, Alec Baldwin. This is for Julio now. He starred in my favorite movie, Almost Famous, and both he and I have lived in Manhasset, Long Island. I'm here right now, actually. He is Matt Hochstrasser, Billy Crudup, or Alec Baldwin.
The second guy.
You are right. It's Billy. Hey, that's number 3. What are you talking about, Joe? Julio's 2 for 2.
All right, okay. Well, they got pissed off, so
He stole a question though from
Yeah,
Ben.
he wasn't. That wasn't his question. That
Yeah. But whatever. Luckily, you don't get any credit for getting them right anyway. So,
You
all right.
listen here. Sound okay? I suppose I could.
All right, let's go with Ben because I think he wants us to check his sound. Ben, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let me get your question here. Jeffrey Toobin, everybody's favorite this week. Jeffrey Toobin from CNN. He's a legal analyst, and he's taking some time off, some personal time, because number one, he was seen jerking off on a Zoom business call. Number two, he called Kamala Harris duplicitous. Number three, he incorrectly called the next Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Island. Jeffrey Toobin.
Number one.
You are correct. He was seen jerking off, and I saw the video, and he really was. He was seen jerking off on a Zoom business call. Actually, the New Yorker magazine, so that's weird. But
Why would anybody?
What?
He was caught jerking off on his own business call.
Yes, he was. It wasn't his own, but he was a guest on it or something.
Oh.
All right, let's go to Emma for the final question. Emma, are you ready? Emma?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
This is a multiple guess question. The summer 2024 Olympics will be held in number one, Derby, Connecticut. Number two, Los Angeles, California. Number three, Paris, France. The summer 2024 Olympics will be held in number one, Derby, Connecticut. Number two, Los Angeles, California. Number three, Paris, France.
Paris, France.
You are correct. Hey. Hey.
Derby, Connecticut is where they have the overpriced airport, I thought. No.
The airport to nowhere, you know what I mean? The runway goes into the water. You know,
Right.
I think Derby should build a big airport here. Derby, Connecticut.
They should do something there, that's for sure.
They're fucked up. They're taxing.
And the winner is Emma Jean Foster, because she didn't steal a question from Ken Barron. So there you go. She got one right. Okay, that's it for me on trivia. We're back to the Julio Show with special guest Lenny.
Lenny.
Yes.
My main man. So,
Hey, by the way, I was in a ShopRite yesterday, Julio, and I was in the section where they had like this was surprising to me. They had like the olives and all that stuff that you can spoon in. That was open. They had the soup section, but they had a sign up and they said wear gloves, and I'm like, I don't have gloves. But then they had this box and they had clear plastic gloves. But these things, you know how like Mickey Mouse, they have the hands that are 10 times too big.
right.
These gloves were like this. They were huge. I mean, I could have 4 of my hands would have fit in these things. Right? I guess you were supposed to take a glove and hold the ladle and fill it up.
Because them gloves are very cheap. So they come in a roll. So they have like these stupid.
Yeah,
things.
but these weren't tight. I'm telling you.
No, they're not. They're very loose. Very loose.
Huge gloves. And I'm like, by the time I saw them, it was too late anyway. Because I'm.
Well, I mean, the salad bar is open. There is no. You don't have to put them in compartments.
Yeah,
Really?
no, it was all open. I'm thinking you could stand over it and sneeze and cough, but as long as you have your gloves on, you're okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it has a little glass. It has a little glass covering it.
Yeah, I know, but
You can't. It won't go under the glass. Like.
I never
but if
understood
it
how.
bounces off the counter. Come on. Then there was a store. I think it was a Marshall's. As you walk in, they said, you're not allowed to try on any clothes anywhere in the store. Oh, okay.
Ross the other day.
Yeah. So here's what it is. You can take the clothes, you can hold them up, you can look at it, you can turn it, you can breathe on it, cough in it, sneeze in it, wipe your nose, put it back. That's okay. But you can't try it on. But you can buy it, bring it home, and then bring it back.
And bring it back. Yeah.
No, because like I
We'll
said,
put it in isolation for 72 hours.
like I said, how are they going to bring this back to normal? Because everybody believes the media. This is so
November
contagious
3rd.
that everybody is running this shit. Everybody wants you to do. Oh, like for instance, I can understand. Don't try the mask. We don't need a scamdemic for people to do that. I don't need to tell you we have a scamdemic and don't try on the mask. Don't try on it's like trying underwear on. You can put underwear on, let me try on my underwear and put them back on. No. That's not.
Hey, listen, you want to watch a scary movie, a really scary movie?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix right now.
What?
It's called Social Dilemma.
Social Dilemma.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Oh,
Yeah, let me make sure. They have people that worked at Google and Twitter talking about how social media and what all of these tech companies are doing to us. They spend, first of all, every single thing, like all of this, what we're doing now, everything is being captured. This isn't like conspiracy theory. Everything's being captured, and they're trying to get people, especially younger people, more and more addicted to using social media all the time. And then they analyze like everything that you do to try and know what to send, like what companies' advertising should be sent to you, especially with kids. I mean, I only saw half of it so far, and it's pretty scary because that's what's going to change. They showed that they could send subliminal messages for the midterm. This actually happened for the midterm election to get people to vote, and you didn't even know you were doing it. That's how they have people that's all they do all day for these companies is try to figure out how they can do certain things, because for them it means making more money.
Okay, and now that we know that, what can we do about it?
Well, you could try staying off social media, but that's pretty hard.
How are you going to convince a young person?
The name of the movie is Social Dilemma. It's it's on Netflix. It's like it's like a docudrama kind of thing. And again, it's executives from Google and from various companies talking about what goes on, and the one guy that was the main guy was talking about how he got out of it because what he was seeing, the ethics of what he was seeing, of how they're controlling so much of what happens to you and you don't even realize it. That's what's scary about it.
One thing is that we have addiction to being on the phone.
In the
right?
Shadows. In the Shadows is another good one. Another good movie.
Yeah.
And all this is, the young people
And Plandemic.
And the scamdemic. The scamdemic, yeah. But something?
Plandemic.
But the scamdemic?
Plan.
Oh, the plandemic. Well, the young people, it's too late for them. They're hooked. They're hooked already. They're done.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Indoctrinated by the schools.
If you really want to torture a young person, take away their phone. If you take away their phone,
yeah, exactly. That's an addiction to them.
You take away their phone, that's like killing them. You might as well just kill them, shoot them in the head.
That's pretty bad for me too. It's me too. I'm so used to it now. To me, Google is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. I could look up stuff real quick, but Google, every single keystroke you make is being captured. And every single keystroke you make is being used to sell advertising to somebody for them. In other words, for them to make money. And that's why I'm sure you guys have had this where you've gone to look at something, and then if you sign on Facebook, all of a sudden you get 65 ads for that particular thing, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all connected together and they're all selling data. And how did Facebook know that I went to Google and I looked up, the cost of, I don't know, a lawnmower? And now all of a sudden I'm getting like ads for 75 different lawnmowers.
Yeah, that is scary.
Every other thing, how does that
that's
happen?
brilliant. Don't you think that's brilliant?
I'm not saying, of course it's brilliant. You got these geeks working 24/7 to try and do that. But what I'm saying to you is that there's other stuff going on because they can, again, with what happened this week with Twitter and last week with the Twitter and the New York Post, and not put, they're censoring all kinds of, they're censoring stuff, but they're not censoring leftist kind of stuff. They're censoring rightist.
So the show we're doing now, Lenny, you're in trouble. Now they know that you figured them out. Now you're gonna get bombarded with all kind of shit.
Yeah. I put in the words John Lennon. Remember he turned 80. So, I didn't know he turned 80, so I put his name. He was 80. All of a sudden, I'm getting all types of songs from the Beatles, on Facebook, on Instagram, John Lennon trivia. I mean, because I put John Lennon.
Yeah, but let Joel, Lenny, even Richard and Emma, maybe Reverend, maybe, because he's a little young. He's a young kid anyway. So remember, Google took the place of the librarian that you had. Remember the one with the glasses? She used to drop on her thing with the little beads and the mean one, the mean, nasty, like, shh, be quiet. This is the library, remember? And that's the only way we got information. Now we don't have to see that librarian anymore, because every librarian I had in all the years in school, elementary and high school, they were all ugly old women, all of them. I don't remember even having a man librarian. I thought all librarians for a while were just women, because it was.
What do you mean by ugly? What do you? I mean, we don't have, even if we're all in our 60s or whatever, we don't have to accept you saying a definition of a woman by your twisted viewpoint of judging them as ugly. What do you mean by ugly?
Wait a minute, in your movie, they're
Ugly
not
to
ugly.
look at, bad for the eyesight.
By the way, yeah, but Julio, there's a whole theme in the porn industry for that whole thing,
Oh yeah,
That's
now
right.
with the glasses and the butt.
Now,
So
later you find it kind of sexy.
There's
Oh,
nothing
okay.
sexier than a gorgeous librarian.
I wasn't thinking that way at 8 years old. I figured at 8, I wasn't thinking about maybe she needs to release some tension, get nook them up. Let that old cheese come down. You're like,
My daughter's a librarian.
Yeah, the cheese will
Where you going?
look, you can't generalization is usually somebody gets you in trouble. So you got to be careful when you generalize.
Yeah,
But you got to be careful about the words, like Julio's speaking like he's in
Look,
1957,
Okay, look. Obviously, we all went to different schools. Joe, you went to different school. Emma,
Well, yeah, because we all didn't go to the same school. I guess we all
what did
did.
your librarian look
Yeah.
like, Lenny? What did your librarian look like? Talk to me.
I don't.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. Hey.
No, I don't remember.
No, I don't remember either.
I remember what certain teachers look like.
I remember.
I remember
The librarian,
I remember-
the one that kept shushing you in the library, and the one that wore the
Well,
glasses.
maybe if you didn't keep talking.
Yeah, right,
I never got
exactly.
shushed too much.
Oh, you got used a lot.
Yeah, you got
shushed
shushed a lot. That's
Oh,
why.
shh.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been in the library.
No, I never. No, I'm a boisterous person. I'm like, what? I don't understand this. What am I reading over here? Oh, shh.
I remember when I went to college, I was in an English class, and it was a very young professor. I guess she kind of looked like with the twiggy haircut and all. And when I went to school, miniskirts had come in, and so it was, first of all, it was really tough on me because there were so many girls with miniskirts. It was like I couldn't close my eyes; they were like this all the time. But she used to come in, and we had like a platform and then like a desk or a table, and she would sit up on the table with her miniskirt, and every guy in the class would just sit there and nobody would make a sound, just hoping that she might move a certain way and forget, that she's sitting up. I'm sure she knew what she was doing too, now that but
Hey,
it was
every
like
time we
nobody
had
paid more attention than all the guys in the class. They were like this, okay.
All right, yeah, you sit in the front. You sit, in
Oh
front.
yeah.
I always sit in the front. Hey, how you doing?
I never sat in front in any class except that one.
Of all places, we had a teacher like that in law school, and I was tipped off ahead of time because they said, "Who do you have for whatever it was, con law or whatever?" And then I said her name, and this one guy told me, "Oh, I took that class." He says, "Sit up front," because she had a nice rack, and I'm speaking like Julio now, 1957. She had some nice melons on her, and during the summer she would wear them like she would wear a shirt that literally her button was like only 3 buttons of her shirt were buttoned, and there was 6 or 7 on the shirt, and everyone in the front was
Pay
male.
attention.
Everyone in the front, the first 3 rows were male because a big class. I get there early.
So yeah, Emma, we're all dogs, right?
Oh, you're all
I was so happy that he have assigned seats because I don't want to sit in the back. I want to sit right in the front. Like,
KMG, Buddy Love.
Buddy Love. He's still alive. I bet the police got him.
Buddy Love. Yeah, but like it's good to have attractive, teachers because it's good to keep.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, Buddy Love, what's up?
He is. Ladies and gentlemen.
Buddy Love.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, he's in Georgia right now, so no.
Yeah.
Once you take a drive over to Atlanta and go over to with Angel's house and tell her that she has a migraine headache, buddy. So we have to teach her something,
Oh yeah.
She has a migraine headache, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that migraine.
Next week a trivia question is going to be about Buddy. You know that, folks.
Oh.
Whatever he does, pay attention because I'll make a trivia question out of him next week.
Hey, buddy, you look. Did you you had a full beard, did you, or did you shave? You look.
No,
different,
I never had a full beard.
No, but you look different than the last time I saw you.
Oh, his hair is braided back.
Oh, maybe
He's
that's
going for like a George Washington Carver beard or something here. He's going to invent the peanut,
I like it.
He's going to go down to Disney and play George Washington Carver in the new updated version of what's that animatronic thing they do with the presidents? And they just throw in George Washington Carver at the end, and everybody's going to go, well, who's he? He invented the peanut.
Peanut oil.
I don't think.
I don't think he invented the peanut.
Yeah.
What to do with the
Oh
peanut?
no, Julio, don't you go there. The black man invented the peanut. Don't be.
He know what to do with the peanut.
He know what he invented.
Peanut oil.
Don't go there, Julio. Julio's one of these kind of like, he denies everything. The Holocaust. He denies George Washington Carver the right to say he invented the peanut.
George Washington Carver. Yeah, the peanut guy. We call him the peanut guy. George Washington, the peanut guy. Because they give you such little information, so you really don't know that much about him. You only know about the peanuts, and that's it.
But that's not his fault. That's the
Well, it's not.
system. They don't go over anybody but but the white oppressors. That's what the problem is. Julio.
The right oppressors. The right oppressors.
And you barely got that education. So you should educate yourself right now, Julio.
Yeah. I'm probably more educated by not listening to them than listening to them. Because everything they give you to read and listen is bullshit. And then you find out later it's bullshit. Like, do you remember the old science a long time ago? Don't forget that. Saturn don't have 9 rings. They have 7 or 4, whatever the hell they adjust
it. There might not even be a Saturn. There might not even be a Saturn.
That's right.
You don't know.
Did anybody who actually went to Saturn?
As a matter of fact, do we have 9 planets in the solar system or what? It's like everything changes. Everything. Like everything they taught you that you thought was on is not really on. It's not happening. It's all lies.
That's what I said. Julio's a denier. You see, that's how he's going to deny George Washington Carver. He's going to deny the Holocaust. He's going to deny a lot of things.
Oh, hell yeah. It is what it is. Look, it's your fault why it happens. Anything that happens to you is your fault. I don't care how you put it. It's your fault. That's it. Take responsible for your shit and move on. That's it.
I don't know who you're talking to. You're not looking at me.
I'm talking to you too, motherfucker. Fuck.
I didn't do anything.
You too.
I had nothing. Lenny was the one. He was transmitting all that false information.
Lenny too. Lenny was a teacher. He was the one that was.
Yeah, Lenny was. Everybody point at Lenny.
No, everybody, look, Lenny was trained to lie to us, the generation. This guy right here.
Him on this show, he agrees with you. He must be lying.
Well, first of all, I taught math. There's no lying in math.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's it. There's no maybe in math. It's either white or black. That's it. There's no gray part of math. You're right. Yeah, absolutely right. Did you teach like the higher math, like algebra, or geometry, or anything like that?
Yeah, I taught algebra, statistics, pre-calc, all that shit.
Oh,
pre-calc too?
Ouch.
Oh man, with the logarithms and all that. Oh hell no.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't deal with logarithms because logarithms were around because no one had a computer. You don't need all that shit with computers now because you can find the answers in 2 seconds to huge problems. So there's really no reason to use logarithms. I would skip that chapter with kids because I said, they're never gonna, this is just stupid now. They need to get rid of that crap because you don't.
No, but you wasn't supposed to do that. You wasn't. Yeah,
but I
listening.
did it anyway.
You wasn't listening, Lenny. You a rebel.
You know what? Listen, I always the one math class that every kid in high school should have to take. This is and I taught is statistics. because statistics is a subject. Once you get beyond adding and subtracting and multiplication, division, that's a subject that affects you every single day, because like what toothpaste is there and what shows you see, that's all done statistically by some analysis. And you see all these, like, oh, the latest poll said this, the latest poll said that. That one subject would teach you how to evaluate that stuff, because it's really important to understand whether or not it's true. And that's all part of statistics. So I always thought that instead of algebra, geometry, and stuff like that, that was the most important one that I thought, because I thought,
they say there's 3 types of lies: damn lies, and statistics.
Yes. I used to show the kids, like, if you take a graph, you can make something look way out of whack, or you can make it look more realistic. It all depends on what you want to do, and you can lie like crazy with that stuff. And if you're not aware of that, in your life, then you see some, because I always try to tell kids, that's one of the things I would do. When you see that after this class in your life, think about this, and so that they would. I don't know whether they would. They're probably figuring who they're going to sit with at lunchtime, but maybe they'll think about that sometime. But it's really, I think, the best subject to teach in math.
Statistics.
Statistics.
And then
I think they should teach critical thinking and entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneur. Yeah. Teach people.
What that? Emma,
No. You know what I think? I think they should have a class just to meditate for 45 minutes. That's it. They don't do anything else. Just meditate. And that's it. Like, get into your thing, learn what you're about. But they don't have that. They keep you away.
Just affirmations, positive affirmations.
Yeah, something. But no music. Silent. Turn off the lights. Shut your eyes. And just meditate and see what you're about. And then,
that's not going to work. That's not going anywhere.
Of course that's going to work.
In high school, nobody's going to do it.
They'll do it in high school. They'll do it. Because you went to math class. You hated math, but you still went, right?
That would be cannabis time.
Canada.
Yeah, really. People would get high and then go in there.
Yeah, like
church. With some weed, and then you can get meditate.
Right, then you can meditate all you want. Sure, let the teacher think you're meditating. You're just fucking high. You're not really meditating.
I'll write a book called The Big Lie, Your Life. The Big Lie, Your Life. Everybody lies to you. You get born, everybody's lying to you. Your mother lies to you, your father, your friends, your close friends, your wife, whoever. And they lie. Everybody's lying to everybody. Everybody lies.
Biden. For Biden.
All lies. Lie. Donald Trump lies. Joe Biden doesn't lie because he doesn't remember anything, but he's a liar too.
He don't know he's lying.
Are we allowed to talk
I don't know if I'm lying.
Are we allowed to talk politics now?
You can if you want. What do you want to say? Talk to me.
I want to say that I think that Trump is going to win by a bigger land. I think he's going to win by a really huge landslide.
Really?
I'll drink to that.
Buddy, what do you think, buddy? Yeah, he says, yeah, buddy's shaking his head, y'all. What do you think? What do you think, Lenny?
You know what? I hope so. That's all I could say. I'm not going to make any predictions because I'm too superstitious to make a prediction. I just hope so.
Oh, okay. Don't be superstitious. It is what it is. It's going to happen anyway. Whether.
I know that. Like 3 rallies a day now.
Oh God, this guy, they talk about how lazy. They say, oh, he's such a lazy. I say, lazy? You call that guy lazy? That guy works forever, 24/7. He's up. He's doing something.
Well, here's the thing. I actually voted. I don't know if I probably didn't. I voted last Monday because I wasn't going to be I'm not in Florida, so I wasn't going to be there. So I went to an early voting started on Monday. I stood in line for an hour and a half. I have never done that in my entire life. That's how crowded it was. And I can't tell you, I could get a sense of, which way those people were. I mean, I don't know whether it was people coming out to vote one way or the other, and that's why there were so many people, but it was packed. And it was funny. I'm standing online, right? And it was actually in a mall, a dying mall. So they had it set up, and they had everybody had a mask on pretty much. And then they had tape on the ground, 6 feet apart and all that bullshit. So I'm standing there looking at my phone, and some woman from, about, I don't know, 25 feet behind me comes up, and she's pissed off because I left a couple extra spaces between me and the woman in front of her. And I'm like, so? Well, come on, we got to move the line. I said, do you think you're going to get there any quicker if I moved up 2 spots? It's not going to matter, you dumb shit. I was tempted to say to her, you're so stupid. I bet I could guess who you're voting for, but I didn't.
No, you can't say that, Lenny.
Yeah, she's a Democrat. That's the reality.
Because it's not even it's not whether it's Democrat or Republican. It's not
no,
that.
she's voting Democrat. That's why she's all
the idea.
Well, this lady passed out in New York City.
It's like you tell somebody, look, I just don't agree with you. Oh, that's because hey, look, I'm allowed to feel the way and whatever I want. I'm like, who the fuck are you? I'm gonna be like Buddy Love, right? If you don't agree with me, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna say fuck you. I'm gonna keep going, and that's it. Buddy does it. Oh, he does it on Facebook. Every time I see his thing on Facebook, he gets like 1,000 comments on why. Because he'll say Donald Trump is on your side, whether you like it or not, or something like that. And he'll say, oh, the Democrats want to keep things the same way, and the Republicans want you to move on. They get mad at him for that. So he tells them, what you think is still what I think, and that's it. And he doesn't care. I don't know. I'm trying to learn how he does that because Alan has a way that way too. Alan
you do that, buddy?
Yeah. Can't hear you, bud. You're on mute. You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the old Democrat?
How do I do it?
Passed out online.
Because I don't like. I've lived enough. I've gone through a lot of experiences. I'm not going to go through my whole story, but I've been through enough to not care what people think anymore. So I say what I feel. If I feel something, I say it, and if people like it, so what? If they don't, I'm journeying in this life, and I share my journey. If somebody likes what they hear, fine. If they don't, I don't care. It's my journey. So I say what I want to say. I say what I want to say. I feel like people should just live their life, and people should just connect with folks who you connect with. If you don't connect with them, let the laws of the universe do what it do. And shit, it's going to be what it's going to be.
He really makes people mad. He's really upsetting people bad. He's like, he'll just say things like, really,
Because most people are responding. Most people are not creating.
Right.
The funniest one was the funniest statement that I heard from him was, I'm on Facebook looking at it, he goes, Donald Trump, my nigga, and I start cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, this is Buddy Love. I didn't even look up the name. I look up, that's Buddy, and he's like, and then he got like, how many comments you got on that? Like 150, like in 5 seconds.
People always they just because I just say anything, so people just respond. They get upset. They don't even I say things and they don't even ask like what I mean. They just respond. So it's funny.
Your friend, Buddy Love. That's your name on Facebook, right?
Buddy Love. Yeah. The Buddy Love Show. The Buddy Love Show.
What?
He'll just say things, just 2 or 3 words, and people they freak out. They freak out, and they're like, oh. And then they really want to argue with him on Facebook. I'm like, why are you arguing? It doesn't make any sense. I don't argue on people. If I disagree with something, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You're an asshole, whatever, or whatever. And I keep going. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna text anything.
Yeah,
because
sometimes you gotta say something.
No, but have you ever seen people texting and arguing? It doesn't make sense. That's no fun. I want to argue with you. I want to see you. I want to feel you, so I can argue. Otherwise, I don't feel like arguing.
But Julio, snowflakes can't pass up. They can't pass up stuff like that. They have to say something.
Yep.
They just can't. Because that's all most of them are they just talk. They don't do anything.
Little flakies. It's funny.
See, what I discovered, what I learned was that really what you really create your own reality. Like I've been living this shit for a minute, and I've really been seeing how everything that comes to you is just a mirror of you. I tap into the bullshit that's in me because I have fun with it, And I know that if I say certain things, I'm going to trigger people on that level because I know how to go to low levels and come out of it.
Okay.
So I like to have fun with the shit. I like to go to all the parts of me. I'm schizophrenic, but I know me. So I have a whole lot of different personalities. So I can tap into all of my personalities and trigger people, and then step into my highest personality, which is the high part of me, and just chill and relax. But people don't know how to do that within themselves. So I like playing. I like pulling on shit and playing with people, right? Because I know how to trigger people. I know how to get people to respond. That's what Donald Trump does.
Yeah.
Donald Trump does the same shit. He plays with people. That's why I know what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says Donald Trump figured it out. He figured it out. And he's like, he's going. Like, I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, I can work with that. And like, now tell him what you told me about him going against the big guns and talking about a long time ago. So you've been following him for a long time, right?
Yeah, I've been following him since the 80s. So I've been since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, I always liked him because he took his NFL. He went against the NFL. Like, who goes against the NFL?
Yeah.
So he goes and he sets his own football, like the USFL. Then he always goes against the grain. When I found out that this dude put a hotel in the middle of a parkway, you block a highway off and put a hotel there. I said, hold up, this guy done mastered something.
He better when he's inside his own country.
Master of negotiations.
Right. So when I realized I could be the creator of my own shit too, I'm creating my own shit. I'm gonna create my own shit. So I figured it out. That I started tapping into the universal laws and started realizing that, I can master. When I master me, I master everything. So I started tapping into me, started going in meditation and tapping into my shit. And when I did that, I realized, oh shit, I got my finger on everybody. I know how to trigger people. That's what I want my comedy to be. I want my comedy to be shit that triggers people to make them fucking think.
He's doing a thing called comedy church.
Oh. That's the wrong Buddy Love there.
Buddy Love with comedy. Oh, but Buddy Love, a lot of people don't know that he used to be a reverend.
Oh, there's so many Buddy Love.
Tell him, bro.
You'll see me. I have the I have like a KMG. It's just like my I have a thing that says KMG. It's like my group.
Okay.
Buddy Love was the name in The Nutty Professor.
Yeah, I actually been Buddy my whole life. My nickname's Buddy, but I went by Love right after that. Like I just, I was like, that fits me. Like that's who I am.
Okay, we got Buddy Love Rescue Group, Buddy Love Wholesale, Buddy Love.
So what's your name on there? I'll get you on there.
Okay, I'm Emma Jean Foster.
Okay.
Emma Jean
Foster Feege, actually, for that page.
Buddy's hysterical. He's like, he'll just say stuff. I'm like, okay, why do you think that? Well, he has something that, a lot of people don't understand, that he's going to do what he wants to do. Yeah. Because he mastered something. I don't know, and I kind of thought about it, but I didn't know what it was. And then he started explaining to me. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. You ever notice that? He goes, but there, I think, something, you're right. Since the 80s, he went to New York and he finished his own, like the ice skating rink, because they couldn't finish it. And he told them, well, you guys can't, I'll finish it. And he finished it in 3 months. It took him 4 years. He did it in 3 months. He took the hotel, rebuilt it. And then they told him, it could never be done. They told him he could never do real estate in Manhattan. And what did he do? He did it. He went in Manhattan and he started doing real estate. He closed down the West Side Highway to finish that Trump, whatever thing he did over there. And then he did a lot of stuff that you kind of like forget. All the stuff that this guy did and went against the grain.
911. He was the big financier of the cleanup and the rescue.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, exactly. So there was a lot of stuff that he did that people kind of like forget because they hate him so much that they let that blind them. But there was one young cat said, and I think he said it right. He goes, look, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like him, but he does the job. So I have to vote for the guy. You know what I mean? So people on his case, the way they are on Buddy Love's case, except Buddy doesn't care. But, like this guy was more like, more combative about, and then he did all the things. This is all the stuff he did. And then but he's not president like this. What are you talking about? He's the president.
Yeah, they said he would never be the
whether you like it or
president
not.
too.
That's it. And then he says, I like him because he got things done, not because I like Donald Trump. Because no,
Promises made, promises kept.
yeah, he just did it, and that's I figure, okay, that's a great answer, because like people say, when you look at candidates, when you look at a Biden, and then you look at Trump, and you look the way they handle their business, and then you get somebody that would tell me, I'd rather vote for a piece of shit than vote for Donald Trump, then obviously you're not looking at the whole picture. It's like, I'm not telling you to vote for Donald Trump. I'm just telling you to look at what's in front of you and make at least a decent decision. And I'm not telling you to vote for Donald Trump. I don't tell people that. Like, you vote for whoever you want. I'm going to vote for whoever I want, and you ain't going to tell me shit. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And like, when people get all this, they get involved. They get emotionally involved. And I think that's what Buddy Love says. He says he gets you emotionally involved because you got to understand, bad publicity, good publicity is still publicity.
Yeah, but the one thing about that, see, Trump doesn't really care what people like. He's not really part of the political machine. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure he contributed to both parties all the time. But he's not really part of the machine. He didn't work his way up through all that bullshit like a Biden or Harris or any of those people or a lot or Mitch McConnell. Those people worked their way up through that party, one step at a time, doing all the bullshit. And he didn't. So he doesn't really care. And, he doesn't have a publicist who's telling, don't say that, you can say that. He just says whatever he thinks, which gets him in trouble. And which is why there are a lot of people who hate the guy because they feel that he's not presidential. But in fact, he's goal oriented, just like in his business, and said, this is the goal. We're going to get it done. If you don't like it, if you're not going to help, get the fuck out of the way. That's really the way. That's really his attitude.
I mean, I didn't know that, but prison reform, he worked on that for 3 years since he went on to get the prison, and he finally passed. And like they told him, well why? He goes,
got Biden's ass on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, because Biden, he's like, well, the Republicans didn't want to pass it, so I left it alone. He goes, well, that ain't what you do. You keep going on it until you get it done. And that's the difference. The difference is a politician will do things and says, oh, I'm going to get this done. And then when they try and it failed, they'll never do it again.
No,
They're like,
you know
okay.
And then sometimes they don't even try.
Yeah,
They don't even try because they got all that money in their pockets from these different corporations, like Biden, from China, Russia. Where's the real collusion?
Julio and Emma, you know what? When I worked at Citibank. It was a big company, and I came to the conclusion that if you work, and then this is for politics too, you don't actually do anything. Don't ever do anything. What you need to do is you need to manage your career, which means you watch what's going on around you, and you try to have your name associated with the good shit, and not, because the problem is if you actually try and do something. And you're a politician, if it doesn't work out, now you got a bad rap. So you don't want to actually do anything. You just want to have people think you're doing all kinds of good things. And that's what most of these people do. They shouldn't be in office for 40 years. That's a joke. And there are people in for 40 freaking years. Ted Kennedy was in the Congress forever. The guy killed a woman and left her to die in a car. He should have been in jail.
In a car underwater.
Oh, the lion of the Senate, lion of the Senate. Bullshit. Guy was a piece of crap.
And they all protect each other.
Well, that's why when I started realizing they all work for big business. So it's all about big business. If you don't have it, I put a thing up. I said, voting with no economic power is like swimming in a pool with no water in it. Yeah. You're wasting time. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody cares about your concern. Like the politicians aren't talking to you. They're just talking to make you, it's the illusion of inclusion. You're not included in our meeting.
No, we're not even a part. We're just trash to them.
Well, no, they need
our tax dollars.
They need you to vote for them, and they want to stay in. Their primary goal is to stay on the gravy train. That's number one. They will say anything that sounds good, like the old, I promise a chicken in every pot. And that's
Right.
what the bullshit you get from all of it. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. They're all like
There's a
that 'cause
chicken
they
in
want,
every
you know,
pot.
I don't even know
And
what they
nothing
do.
more.
I don't
And
even know what they
nothing
do.
more than the chicken in every
It-
pot.
I
It's
don't
the
hear from
same
them
thing.
every 4 years. Once every 4 years, I hear from them, and I get flyers and phone calls.
Yeah,
Once every
all-
4 years.
every-
Before CNN, I never heard anything from them.
Yeah, but look at it. It's so obvious, but yet we still go along. That's the part that
But
I
that's the
don't get.
thing. That's the
I'm
thing.
not
That's
still going along.
I don't go along with any of it. That's why I do what I do. Speak to my do my own thing. I create. I'm in a nation to myself. I'm in my own world. That's what I love about America. You get to be in your own world in this
Yeah,
country,
it's your
and you
world.
don't have to subscribe to anything. You just do you. That's the beautiful thing about this country. People just want you to believe you have to subscribe. You don't have to subscribe to anything.
You know what disturbs me too?
What?
This time of year, from I don't know what, August till now, the hundreds of millions of dollars being spent on advertising for these assholes. Do you realize what that money could have done for people, good, to help people?
Of
And these
course.
jerk offs are spending
But they
all
don't
this
wanna help
money on
nobody.
advertising that's all bullshit anyway, that doesn't mean a damn thing, and yet, and they're not really, they're not going to follow through on a lot of the crap that they're saying anyhow. They're just saying stuff to get people to vote for them. But all of that, and by the way, they say, well, I've heard, well, Trump, the corporations have him in his pocket, in their pocket. Oh, well, no shit. Biden's getting tons of money from very wealthy people. No, what do you think? Those people aren't going to demand something also? I mean, so the people donating to one side are really nasty. They want something for it. But the guy on the other side, the people that are donating, they're really nice. They just want to give that money up because, they're nice. What bullshit. Of course not. Both sides got, you know what I mean? When you donate tons of money, you're not donating it because you're Mr. Nice Guy. You have an agenda.
You have an agenda,
Okay.
especially when you're putting up a lot of money.
I
Yeah,
see you over there with your MAGA stuff, with your Trump.
I see you.
Oh, these motherfucking
There you
liars.
go.
I get so much mail. I get mail on these, I don't even know who, I never, like, I know, like the governor and people in Connecticut, I really don't know who they are. I have no idea. Only once every 4 years, I get a little information and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh yeah, he was a senator. He was a representative for, he's getting reelected. There's a lady, she's so old. She's like, she got dust coming out of her face. He's like old, right? And she got purple hair. The ugliest looking woman I ever seen. And she's running.
Said face. At least you
Her
said face,
like,
Julio.
dust coming out of her face is like bad. I'm like, oh my God, that woman was so unattractive. She had purple hair. And guess what? I'm thinking, oh, she's running for Senate? No, she's running for re-election. And that is re-election. I'm like, you mean somebody voted her in? If you look at her face alone, you won't vote for her. But
how about these judges?
What's that governor of Chicago? What's up with that?
Oh, you mean that girl, the mayor in Chicago?
The mayor, yeah.
Mayor, wait, that's her name.
I don't know
She
what's
a
wrong with
beauty?
her.
Now that's
Mayor-
a beauty.
Mayor Lightfoot. Her last name
Lightfoot.
is Lightfoot. Mayor
Is that her
Lightfoot.
name? Lightfoot? Yeah, she
Lightfoot.
needs some Lightfoot up her ass.
She's
That's what she
scary.
needs.
She's scary.
There's a good singer named Gordon
I
Lightfoot.
mean, look, when it comes to mayors, we got whoppers. We got de Blasio, we got Lightfoot, we got that one over there in Washington State. What's the other one? The one in Seattle,
in Michigan.
in Michigan. I
You
mean,
got
like,
Newsom in California.
Newsom. Yeah, who the hell are these people?
They're Satan's advocates.
Oh, Satan's African. Okay.
De Blasio, who's a strong New York.
Satan's
forth.
advocates.
All they want to do is
Yeah.
they're in it.
Cuomo. Oh
They're
God.
in it for the money, man. It's just about what they want. Is that, we're padding their career. And, unfortunately, we're really involved in the thing that we finally got a man that's not involved in politics, that made it to the highest office in the land, probably in the world. And people are just so pissed at it that they don't know what to do. And it is a constant barrage of so negative that it makes them negative. You know what it makes them.
The media is controlled by the deep state actors. And so it's the media that's programmed the minds of the people.
Yes,
and
yes.
so that's why they can't get it. They don't understand. They're just an emotional wreck.
But I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, people say, who you gonna vote for? I just look at them. I'm like, you really don't want to know. and anyway,
they can't handle the truth.
You don't want to know because I don't feel like I'm too weak to argue at the moment. Like I don't want to sit here and start debating why I feel that way when I'm not even asking you why you feel that way. I don't care. Like whatever you want to do. It's like, look, whatever makes you happy. It's like everybody does not like thin girls. Every man does not like some like bigger girls. You know what I mean? There's, whatever. I'm like, well, if you like a big girl, I can't say, well, how can you like a big girl? Well, he likes big girl. That's on him. That's what I got to do with
Lizzo. That's the big girl I like. Lizzo.
You understand what I mean? But when you really look at it, it's so what? I mean, everybody needs some loving. Everybody needs loving. Everybody. Yeah. The ugly one. Look, there's this lady. She's real old. She's kind of ugly. She works with us at Dell. She's been there for like years. And I told the young kids, yo, take one for the team, man. She needs, she needs some loving. Just hit that. You crazy? Oh my God, she's disgusting. Look, like she still needs it. You need loving, baby. You need loving. I never argue with her. I used to tell her, Jean. Her name was Jean too. I said, Jean. She's very evil and mean, right? I said, Jean. I said, you better stop that. She goes, why? I said, I'm gonna go over there and hug you. Stop it. I'm gonna go over there and hug you. And I told her that so many times that she doesn't even bother me though. like, well, I don't want this guy to come hug me. I even bought her a Christmas present, which nobody gave her one except me. Like, here for you. Like, oh, so nice of you. And then she bought me she made some brownies with nuts and all that. She bought me, oh, really good, really good. I'm like, oh, she could cook too. I'm like, yeah, this girl really needs some loving. She needs loving. Somebody gotta love her, man. Somebody gotta love her. Everybody needs love. Don't you think, Lenny? Everybody needs loving.
I think you're confused. I'm confused whether you mean sex or love.
No, both. You need loving and sex.
I think you're kind of twisting them together.
You need to look.
I was getting a little confused. That's all.
You're gonna have fermented cheese up in the back of your neck. That's why you get headaches. You need to loosen that up. Let that out. Let it out. Let it out. Let that shit slide out so you can feel good. You can feel. I mean, there's nothing better than feeling after you have some nookums. You have nookums that. Women are different. They go, oh, give me a moment. Yeah, just a moment. Men, we're like, ooh, wow, that was so good. And then you might feel different later, but at the moment it was cool. It was the good thing, right? Like, let it out. People walking around here, they having sex for 5-6 years. It's hard to deal with them.
Hey, wrong. Tell that Ming Yuan Zhao to come to my office tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Tell Ming Yuan Zhao to come to my office at 12.
Alice.
Hey, you gotta mute yourself there.
Yeah. It's a court meeting, and we're not getting out of it. It looks like, because the other side is crazy. They try to give us. They want to give us regular check in his houses. They don't want to pay for the bank.
Chinese.
Having to.
They're like,
I told them to give me certified a bank check, and they're trying to dispute it. So I want them in the office, and we can tell the judge.
Get that money. See.
Tomorrow.
Is that a porn appointment?
No, that's Chinese. That's a Chinese. Hey. Get that money, baby. That's what it is.
Hey, Chan,
get that money,
yourself.
Get that money, Poppy. Get that money. Don't worry about it.
I thought I was muted. I had to tell Wrong something.
That sounds like a sexual appointment. Tell Young Wrong to come be here at 12.
Sexual there, man.
Yeah, get that guy in my office.
Bring that certified check in, certified, my name. Get that bank check. Get it going on. But like I said, look, we're human beings. And guess what? We're all going to die. One way or another, we're going to leave. So if you want change and you're willing to give up your life, most people don't want to do that, right? Because if you die, then you're not going to see the change. Is that right or wrong? Is that right? So if you're dead, it doesn't matter. That's why, Lenny, when they talk about, global warming and about how I'm going to feel about my future family, I don't even know them. So I don't know who my future family is going to be. You know, if my kids was to have kids now and I die, I wouldn't know them. You know, just like, you know, I don't know my great nephews. You know, my great nephew. I don't know them. I never met them. You know, you see them when they're babies, but that's it. And I don't know.
You are so selfish.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Sorry. So are you, Alan. You don't do anything.
Whoa, what?
You're selfish. You're pretty selfish.
Are you kidding? I'm taking care of the universe, man.
Yeah, but you're selfish. The universe don't need to be taken care of by you. It does its own thing.
I'm totally against whatever you're against.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what I told your girl. I told your girl Lucy. They don't want your help. They don't want your help. Nobody wants your help. Nobody cares. I'm here for the universe. I'm here.
I mean, the universe. You know, it rewards you. In the words of Buddy Love, he's not here right now, but I got what he said.
He's there.
He's there, but I mean, he's not here. I don't see his face.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, he's here. He's listening and meditating at the same time.
No, he's branding right now. KMG. He's branding right now.
Yeah.
KMG.
Yeah.
So everywhere you go, you're gonna see K. It's like, you know, it's like Trump. He's a brander. That's why people, they can't get him out of his mind, because he branded you already. He's branded.
Yeah, but I mean,
Trump is like,
look,
branded.
Look, Julio, you work in a shop, right? Okay. And your whole life is revolving around talking about like these customers who come up to you at ShopRite. Personally, I it's hard for me to go to a ShopRite or any place like that, because I have to deal with like regular people.
Yeah.
And regular people are disgusting and they're rude and they're very hard for me to deal with. They seem to always want to like jump in front of me online or
why? How come they do that? Because you're Chinese?
No, I don't think so. I think it has to do with the level that I'm on, and I'm just very sensitive to their, like I can pick up on how they are, because they're very ultra present in themselves.
But how do you know that?
By looking at them and looking at their faces.
You know? But Alan, listen. They don't jump in front of you. You think they do. I never had that problem, but I don't know how you have those problems.
No, I even was in Chinatown the other day, and now you get takeout, and I ordered, and then I went to another store intentionally so that it would be ready when I came back.
Right.
And you can't go in the restaurant. You have to like walk up to the beginning of it, and they have like a little plastic covering and protecting themselves, or whatever. And so I knew my food was ready, and I saw the people on the street waiting to order. So I didn't need to wait to order. I already had the stuff is right there, right? You pay for it already. Right. So I walked up to the front of the door and I yelled out, "Number 20." And a little Chinese girl, literally like a wrong, pushes me to the side and runs up so she could place an order. And I couldn't get my order that was ready. So this is what I'm talking about. It's not about race. It's about regular people are rude. Regular people are in their own world. They're very selfish. And quite honestly, I don't blame politicians for duping them. I don't blame anybody who dupes the dumbass regular people of this country, because they are that stupid to watch Fox or CNN, the New York Times, or the New York Post for that matter, with no third eye to say to themselves, okay, I'm being told this by somebody. Maybe I don't listen to that person. I get both viewpoints, and maybe I investigate myself to whatever extent, either Google or actually go there or whatever. Most people are not like that. Now, some people, I have to admit, they're too wrapped up in survival. It's like saying what you were saying before about the kid in Africa. Well, actually, you weren't saying that. That comedian, what's his name? He said that about the secret. What's his name? Dave Chappelle. And he goes, this bitch thinks the secret is you visualize. So why don't you go to Africa and get one of those starving children? What's wrong? I haven't eaten in 5 days. Well, why don't you visualize a steak sandwich?
You're doing the wrong thing. It's like, what was that thing you said, buddy, about if you consider yourself a certain race or whatever, then that's racist or something like that, right?
Right. My thing is, if you already subscribe to a race, then you are racist. I mean, if you subscribe to a race, I mean, eventually you're in a race. That means a race is competition. So if you subscribe to the competition, then you are racist because you want to win.
Want to win.
That's what everybody wants to win when you're in a competition. Nobody signs up for the competition to get a fucking participation trophy.
Oh no! Wait a minute. We can't. You know that's not politically correct right now, because you know we got to give everybody a chance, and even we're all equal. We're all winners.
I want to erase.
Want to erase?
I want to erase.
Buddy, Buddy, is there like something that comes after your name? Like Buddy Love, something else?
No, I sent you a request.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll go there then. Thanks.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to race. Like I don't care. Like it's stupid. It's just you're in a body.
Like, oh.
You're in a body. Of course, it's different things, but it's like, yo, I don't care. Like I'm energy. I understand who I am. I understand that I'm here to explore and experience and to have fun and to create and enjoy the journey. So it's like, I enjoy messing with the dumb people. Like I enjoy messing with folks who don't
like Alan.
I don't fucking care. I
messing with the dumb people.
I enjoy making fun of people who don't see. Eventually you will. Your energy. You're never going to die. So I don't fucking care.
I totally agree with Buddy, and I'll take it one more step. I've been telling Julio this on the phone. That look, when we're looking for aliens, it's the stupidest thing in the world. Because we are the aliens.
Right.
We are electrical energy passing through a human phase. How do I know that? We're all going to die. Not one person except supposedly Jesus Christ ever came back. Now, out of the billions of people that have existed on the earth, if the alleged only one person came back, the chances of you coming back are pretty goddamn slim. Because none of us can walk on water. None of us can make bread out, make tons of bread out of a loaf of bread. None of us are going to be challenging, the emperors of Rome as they exist today, like Donald. None of us are going to the White House and trying to run in there and straighten people out. No, none of us are going to do that like Jesus did. So therefore, we are looking for things that are so stupid. We are the aliens. We are the aliens because we exist within bodies that are going to die. Simple as that.
Oh no!
Crap.
Don't tell me that, man.
Crap.
What am I gonna do? Oh man, I'm 66. Things are going downhill. Oh
no! That's when I said you. I meant you, Julio. That's what I meant.
No,
you are the alien. You're gonna end. Your life is going to end.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not gonna.
Well, look. When you really get involved in the energy for real, like that's what I do. That's all I do. I do energy work all the time, right? So I love fucking energy. When you get into the energy, you realize you're physical. It's like if I crash my car, so what? I'll buy another one. I'll just get another body. So when I die, get out of this body, I'll just take back into my energy and create another body. I can create bodies after bodies after bodies because I'm always creating. So even if I die, I've already created my next life. I already created my parents.
So tell me, I have a question, because I hear this a lot about how people proud to be whatever they are. Like I'm proud to be Puerto Rican, I'm proud to be black, I'm proud to be white, whatever. And I'm like, well, how can you be proud of something you had nothing to do with? Nothing, not one thing. You had nothing to do with what ethnicity you come out. Not
well, that's why you become proud, because you actually did have something to do with it. You just don't remember.
No, I probably don't. But you mean I picked to be Puerto Rican? Oh, that's not right.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely, not right. You picked to be Puerto Rican. You just don't remember.
Man. Wow, man, I didn't want to be Puerto Rican.
Nobody in their right mind would. If you really realize what you picked, if you knew what you was picking before you got here, you wouldn't have picked the shit.
Okay, so it's like God or some higher power says, okay, so you really fucked up in your last life, but we're gonna give you a do-over. So this time you get to be a dog or you get to be Trump. What do you want to be? You want to be a black person? You want to be Indian? You want to be white? What do you want to be? You choose as a spirit, you choose it. And then when you end up being born and you maybe you might remember it when you're in your mama's womb. But when you're born, you go through all this shit in life, you forget that you had that assignment and what you chose.
Right. So what?
Oh no, I don't believe. I would have chosen to be like a Rockefeller or a Kennedy. I wouldn't have chosen this. I'm sorry. I would have chosen one of those families with money.
This what we do. What we do is you're this higher power, right? And you say, I want to go to Earth and be the shit. Right. I want to go down there and be like the head honcho. So when you're born, you're born into some fucked up shit, right? So that way you could discover how it feels to be what you asked for. So if you ask to come down here to be a king, you're probably going to be born as a peasant. So you can first feel like what it feels like to be a peasant. So that way, when you feel that shit, you'll be like, I don't want to feel this shit no more. And then you go to the real thing you asked for. Because other than that,
I want to go back to biblical times. Just give your first name. That's why I just use my first name. Joel, John. Just first names. No ethnic stuff. No ethnic stuff. They're just people just live by who they were. They weren't like decided by different ethnic groups. They were just people.
Yeah, I am that I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but the only way for you to see that, you got to be blind.
Right.
Right.
Because if you can see, you'll know. Like, oh, wait a minute.
That's the key to meditation. The key to meditation is to return back to being blind, so that way you'll see. The problem is when you came out the womb, you saw too much shit.
There's one thing I didn't know. There's one thing I didn't know, Buddy Love, and I just found out. Do you know? Oh, there it is. If you subscribe to a race, you're a racist. See? It's like this. Look, it's like this. When did I become a brown person? I just want to know when that happened. Because I never knew I was brown. I have a little brown.
How that shit happens.
Somebody told you that.
I understand. What? I said, well, us brown people. What? Brown? No, I'm black. I said, I never seen a black person in my life. Never in my life. I never seen a black person. I seen a dark brown person, maybe brown, mahogany tin, lighter. I never seen a white person
before. I seen some black motherfuckers in Africa.
Oh, I know, me too. But they seemed dark, but they wasn't black. You know what I mean? Black. You know what I mean? Black.
No, they were black. He's right.
Blue black.
I've seen them too on National Geographic.
So, Emma, you see black people?
Yeah, when I was touring around the world, right? We did some shows with some Africans. I mean, real Africans.
Okay.
And it's amazing how they want to westernize their hair and put the fake shit in there. But the blue black, they black.
Blue black? Oh, I haven't heard that in years.
Black.
Yeah, are you talking about like tar black?
I'm talking about Zoom
conference with some blonde weaves.
No way. I never seen. I seen dark. Don't get me wrong. I seen dark, but I never seen an actual black person.
Yes, I've seen some pitch black. Like you're watching television black.
Black.
Like that, huh? From where? Where'd you meet him at?
Nope. Oh.
I personally was in Africa. I was.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've met Africans because when I did the folk music circuit for like 8 years, there would be Africans that would be on the same show. It could be Hamburg, Germany. It could be Switzerland, somewhere in Canada. We did all the folk music festivals in Canada. People from all over the world, they come and perform. And so that's how I met them. I didn't go to Africa to meet them, but they came to different countries that I was performing in.
Alex Haley had a line in I think it was the second book of Roots, where he actually goes to Africa. And he had a line where he says that he felt amongst Africans, he was talking about skin color, and he said amongst Africans, he felt lesser than, he felt bleached. He felt like he could feel all those generations of what he was versus what they were. Because they were the original, they are the real descendants, they are really black. And he felt himself washed by this society. And I watched a show yesterday called Enslaved, and Samuel L. Jackson was in the first episode where he goes back to Gabon, which is an African country where he said his ancestors had come from. And it was interesting because they were making him they were treating him as if he was a returned Gambonian, if you will, or whatever that native tribe was. Jingi, I can't pronounce it at all. I can't, you have to watch the episode to really get the names. But it was very interesting because while they were kind of doing these ceremonies with him where they were, of course, it involved fire, and they're waving fire at him and smoke, and they're singing their songs and doing their dances. He's wearing sunglasses, and it's funny because he's the only one wearing sunglasses, and to me that would have stood out at that moment. Like, I would have taken my sunglasses off, because by doing that, by wearing those sunglasses, he was actually making a statement saying, yeah, I'm part of this, but I'm really not part of you guys, if you know what I mean. You're welcoming me, you're treating me like I'm a guy who returned, but I really didn't. And when you really look at Samuel L. Jackson, and he didn't go with family members, he went by himself, and he had that Samuel L. Jackson kind of attitude the whole show. It wasn't like he was crying or like an Alex Haley where he felt lesser than. It was more like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he had to be anything. I'm just saying that what sticks out of my mind is those two, the juxtaposition of what Alex Haley said versus Samuel L. Jackson, who was many shades lighter than the lightest person who was in the tribe. That's just the way it is. I don't say that's good or bad, but let's face it, it goes closer to what we're talking about. Like, in this country, someday we got to get over, where are you from? No, I mean where you're really from, like they do to us Asians all the time. Where are you really from? Where's your father from? You know, this and that. And if and it surprises people like Julio, if I tell them, hey, listen, Julio, I'm part black, dude. You know, it is what it is. I can show you the census of my grandmother, and she's listed. Or I can show you, I can show you a picture of my cousin that's blonde hair and blue eyes. And their last name is Chang. You know what I mean? They're the opposite of me. They're more white than they are Chinese, but they're also Chinese, and so forth. I don't find it so unbelievable that we can't do that. As a matter of fact, I'll take that one step further. If you remember on the New York Jets, there was a guy named Mark Sanchez who was a quarterback, and it's very interesting how the press would describe him. They would never say he was Mexican. They would say his parents were born in Mexico. Just Mark Sanchez. Every other Mexican gets to hear how, oh, well, you're Mexican and you could be a rapist and you could be this. But Mark Sanchez, because the white man had picked him out to be that special person, especially a savior for the Jets, which he wasn't, they wouldn't say he was Mexican in the press. It's very, very, very interesting. It's like when you watch the Olympics and you see the Chinese girls or the Japanese girls who represent the United States, or even that half Japanese guy. Remember him, Apollo Ono? His father was Japanese, and his mother disappeared from the scene. So his father was the one who pushed him into being a skater and ice skater and all that, an Olympic team and all that. They almost never mention that the father was Japanese. They show the father, him hugging him after he won and saying how he trained him, but they never mention he was Japanese. Yet, if you're in the street and when somebody comes up to you, they'll say, what are you? You get where I'm coming from? In other words, just like everything else in this society, it's hypocritical. They pick and choose.
It's all to cause division.
Exactly. They're picking and choosing when they want to be racial.
Right.
And somebody like a Julio who's proclaiming himself a racist and all this, they got Julio. Julio thinks he's going against the grain. You're not going against the grain. You're being funny. You're asking people like me, oh, because you're Chinese, and you're just fucking reinforcing, Julio, everything they taught you. That's all you're doing. When I have fun with Buddy Love, it is because I grew up with blacks and because I am part black and because it's fun. And we don't have to mention being black. Buddy Love knows where I'm coming from. When I said George Washington Carver and he invented the peanut, we're making fun of what they told us. It's the other way around. Mm-hmm. We're not letting them make fun of us. We're making fun of them. Am I right, buddy?
Yep. That's how you reverse it. That's how you master everything. You take what you've been told and you flip the script, because the reason why you was told it so that they could try to play with your emotion.
Exactly right.
You master your emotion by showing them. I don't give a fuck about what you taught me. it's funny to me. It's all funny.
It's all bullshit and funny. And I didn't get off on like this whole thing with Columbus. Oh, everybody's pissed. Not everybody, but I mean, a lot of people pissed because, oh, Columbus, why he was a hero, why are you doing this? But then you read about what he did. Okay, I'm not the kind of guy that I'm going to blame him for his times. You know what I mean? You could go back to anybody in their time. You can go back to George Washington, and if you saw a black man walking, excuse me, what are you doing in my room? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to blame you for your times, but let those times be what they are. That's why, and I'm going to be brutally blunt about this, that's why I'm writing right now. We didn't get to it on this show, but we'll get to it again next week, is because if I want to write a character, which like I did with this show that I'm working on, Laugh Law, this guy's white, and I decided, buddy, I'm not going to have any racial overt jokes, if you will, about, like a Julio might do, about race in my show.
Mhm.
There will be a diversity of people. I have a gay guy who's the head of captain of a precinct. I have his partner who's Asian American female. He's a white guy.
You just
I'm
did
gonna
that.
play
What
it.
the fuck you talking about?
No,
You
you're
just
not
did.
getting it. You're not getting
No,
it.
I am getting it. I even read it. It's the fucking, you do the same fucking thing. What
No,
are you talking
I
about?
don't. If you wrote
Get
it,
the fuck
you
out
would
of
be
here with
making
that
fun of people
bullshit. Listen
with
to me. You
Scott
are there
Pilgrim.
too. You drank the Kool-Aid too. Stop the
No, I
bullshit.
did
That's why
not
you're a
drink.
lawyer.
I drank the Kool-Aid and I fucking pissed it out.
Yeah, you didn't
Come
piss
on,
shit
man.
out.
Come
You ain't
on,
shit
man.
now.
Come on,
You were being
man.
diverse.
Shit.
Come on, man. Come
Fuck
on,
out of here
man.
with that bullshit. Telling me that, oh, I'm not, and you're not. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
So what he's saying, right? What he's saying is there's a difference. There's a difference. It's almost like watching. If you look at something with your natural eyes, you can't tell what's what.
Right.
So you can't tell who's tapped into what and who's tapped into what if you're looking at something with your natural eye.
Of course.
So if I talk about something and somebody else talk about something, you can feel where each one is coming from. You can talk about the two same subjects. Somebody's coming from a different angle. Somebody's coming from a place of freedom. Somebody's coming from a place of response to being a slave. We in the same fucking place, but somebody's making fun of something that somebody takes offense to. Because it doesn't mean anything to me. You're not talking to me. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm going to take what you give me and I'm going to laugh that shit. You give me lemons, I'm gonna turn it into all kind of shit.
Yeah. And you know, but most people, when you say generalization, and you know, I get into hot water all the time for that. But when you say a generalization about what I experience, not what everybody else is experiencing, me. They'll take offense, like if I'm talking about that particular I'm not even talking about you. I'm just talking about what I experienced and what I'm doing. It's the same thing. If you tell me about Spanish Harlem, right? And you talk about the way Puerto Ricans are, and you know that this is your observation. I can't say, well, that's not true, or that's false, or I can't say shit because that's what you experienced. That's exactly what you experienced. It does. Now, if you're gonna say, well, Julio, I'm not dealing with you because you do act like those people in Harlem, then we got a problem because now you're talking about me. But if you're talking about the group, good for you. Just don't talk about me. It's like, what that got to do with me? It's like, oh, I don't like Spanish people. That's great. I'm glad you don't. But what's that got to do with me? I don't care about if you don't like them, if you do like them. And I really, you know, to me, I think I'm old. I always been this way. I'm not afraid to approach anybody. I don't care what color you are, where you come from, and I'm not afraid to ask where I'm at. But it doesn't mean that I don't like you. There's a lot of people I don't like, but there's a lot of people I do like. So it doesn't. I'm not. And if you line them up, I'm pretty sure they're different ethnicities, different colors in the whole bit. The people I don't like, and the people I do like, they're different colors, different ethnicities too. So you know, where does that leave you? Just feelings. It's just feelings. It's just, you know, like you said, it's just energy, energy. And I may not know how to articulate it the way Alan does, because you know he articulates pretty well. Mm-hmm. I'm not a person of words, so I don't know how to articulate it, but I know how I feel. You know, I know how I feel.
Yeah, that's the only
because you know
that's the only difference. The only difference between you and Alan is that he knows how to articulate energy.
Exactly.
He can articulate the words. So because he's more of a writer. You're not really a writer.
I'm not a writer.
So you're you know, he can write and, you know, do things and direct and do different things. So he can interpret things differently. But y'all energy not far off, because if by hanging with you and talking to him, you're just as crazy and free as he is.
Well, you know, the only point that I want to make, and it's kind of on a lighter note, and that is, I have a saying that don't read those movie reviews and believe anything, a recommendation or someone who trashes a movie, if you wouldn't go to the movies with that person. So Owen Gleiberman just comes to mind as a reviewer, or Rex Reed or whoever. And I'm imagining, would I go to the movies with those people? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't befriend them. I wouldn't be able to deal with them. They're coming from a whole different world than I do, starting with the South Bronx and ending up right here in Manhasset, Long Island, and downtown New York. No. So a lot of times if you read reviews, and again, this is on the lighter note, if you read reviews and then you go to the movies, and I've done it, and I've even brought people to the movies with me, and I said, oh, well, you know, New York Times said, the guy in the New York Times said, this is a great movie. Then we watch the movie, it's not a great movie. And then I'm thinking, what is wrong here? I finally figured it out. I figured out that the movie review is only as good as the guy who's writing it or the female who's writing it. And so if somebody like a Julio, who I know his perspective, or Joel, for instance, I know their perspective. Joel grew up in the Bronx also, and I know the type of stuff that he thinks, and he and I think are funny, right, Joel? Like the producers. That's where we started.
I was thinking of that, because that
right.
movie they panned in the beginning and became a classic.
Exactly.
And that, you know, yeah.
So Joel tells me, hey, I seen this movie. You got to see this movie, or let's go to the movies together. You know, and I'll see it again. I'd say, okay, Joel, let's do it. And that's the way I'm trying to run things right now, but there aren't enough people out there that I kind of, you know, can empathize with, if you will, or have the same feelings about things. So I'm trying to find out, okay, what reviewer would I trust in real life so that I can trust these reviews that are coming in? Because let's face it, a lot of times those reviews, and again, this is on a lighter topic, a lot of time the reviews are done by people who are being paid on publicity jaunts. So they say to reviewers, hey, come on over. They used to anyway before COVID. Come on over to the movie opening. They have a big party, and you're wearing a press badge, and they treat you like royalty. Well, are you going to do a bad review? Not really, because you want to be invited back the next time the same movie company has something out there. Am I right or wrong? I'm right. Mm-hmm. So my point is, that's on the lighter note. That's just an easy version of how you can figure out whether or not you're being sold the bill of goods. So when it comes to reading articles, we almost never read the byline, the name of the person, right? We don't know that person. We don't know if we would agree with that person, but we read the story as if it's gospel just because it appeared either in the New York Times and New York Post. I mean, I read them all, as Julio knows. But my point is, I've developed, well, also I've had the MS from Columbia Journalism. So I have that, and I'm a lawyer, so I have that third eye. I don't buy it automatically. You know what I'm saying? I just don't buy it. And I think that the more people realize that, and I commend the people who, like Lenny, who waited an hour and a half online to vote, because no matter what, at least it shows me one thing. He thought about it, because he had time to think about it on that line, because I'm not going to wait on a line for an hour and a half to vote. I'm just not going to do it. But he had time to think about it, and he still went the way that he had determined that he felt, okay, I've weighed it all out, and here it is. That's a thinking guy, nothing wrong with it. Even if he comes out on a side that I don't agree with, I can understand what he did, and that's the right way to do it. Anyway, that's it for me. I don't want to.
By the way, Alan, I just want to say one thing about the third eye.
Yeah.
All guys have three eyes.
Yeah, I know. I don't have to use mine right now, and I haven't had to use it for a while.
Three eyes, yeah.
Hey guys, listen. I gotta go. It's 4:00, and you know.
All right, so let's let Lenny go.
You guys, I'll see you next week. Thanks. Whenever we do the next one, you let me know.
Okay, you got it.
All right, Lenny.
Bye, Lenny.
So next week we will do Alan's, because he wrote something for his writing class, and we want to read it out. I was reading it this morning.
Yeah, I sent it around to everybody, and Steve, the other writer, will be here next week as well.
I want to be the cop. I want to be the cop. All right.
Now that
I want to be the black girl.
I want to be the black. I want to be the policeman. The policeman.
I didn't know I wrote a black girl, but I guess I did. It doesn't matter.
I want to be the gay girl.
We can, yeah. We can be anything. We all of us can play.
How about the two old people that was having sex and making all that noise? Then what?
You could be one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's more like it.
They're naked. They were naked with a dildo. See, that's pretty funny.
But it did reflect. Can I just comment on that? I did read it. It did reflect diversity that you kind of talked about.
That's exactly what I did, without making an issue as to what they was. But I did admit that Mike, the lead character, did say that they didn't look that great because the captain asked him, "Is it illegal to be naked in your apartment?" And he goes, "If you saw those two, it should be."
Hey, everybody needs to do the thing, you know what I mean? But you should make it where everybody's one ethnicity, one group, only one group, and give a reason why you don't let anybody else. No, everybody in this is gonna be white. Why? Because I don't want anybody else. And then that would really get reaction. The people, they get pissed. Like, what? How come you have no black people up in there? We don't want black people up in here. That's why. Oh, I don't want Puerto Ricans either. I don't want none of them. I want just white people. And they're like, oh, that's fucking racist. Yeah, I guess it is.
Wait. But they can't be named Julio.
No Julios. No
Julio.
little Jose's or Julio. Because, you know, it's again, people get upset for shit they have nothing to do with or nothing they can control. And they'll live with that forever. Like,
I think we should live in the world like the Matrix and call ourselves Smiths. You ever watch that movie?
Yeah, everybody's a Smith. Yeah,
everybody's a Smith. You know, we just wear a black suit, white shirt,
yeah.
and tie.
You ever watch this movie called Watermelon Man? The Watermelon Man.
Yeah.
Remember the the Watermelon Man. Wow, shit. Oh, white. And then his wife didn't want him. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody, like, what? Oh shit! What's going on? That movie came out in the 70s, right?
Yeah, I seen that a long time ago when I was a kid.
Yeah, and look. I mean, that was way ahead of his time. You know, when you look at the Watermelon Man, did they remake that movie or no?
No, that was a Godfrey Cambridge movie, and that was the 70s, and that movie was right in time. That wasn't ahead of its time. That was in time. That was all about Black Power. You know, I mean, in the times of Black Power and James Brown and Black Panthers and all that. I mean, people forget with all this Black Lives Matter, it seems like it's been around forever. It hasn't. That there was a time when I felt that was a better movement than Black Lives Matter, the Black Power movement. Yeah. It became very, very, very violent and all that, but that's the unfortunate part. But other than that, I thought it was a really good movement. I even saw a film when I went to Cal State Long Beach in 1974, which was a long time ago. And it was all about how they had created inner city schools and they were teaching the black kids. And it was applauded by us in our class. And we had some blacks, but we had mostly whites and some Asians in the class in Cal State, because the movie was about this school in Chicago that was run by more or less activists, black activists, not necessarily Panthers or whatever. And they would teach them things to have like belief in themselves. And they would teach them slogans and stuff. And they would say, you're a black man. You're a strong man. You are going to take care of your family. It's about what we do together to build up. And it was great. I thought it was great because nothing like that was going on in the ghettos and in the schools that we were in. Yeah. And what Emma was talking about with entrepreneurship, just imagine if instead of all this bullshit of pouring money into the ghetto, so-called ghettos, but in the inner city, if we took the money and from childhood, we gave them classes like Emma's talking about, exposing them to stocks and bonds, exposing them to how real estate works, things that are practical.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Not just trying to barely teaching them anything about reading and writing and all this. And then it's all nonsense because you have to come out and be a clerk. How about a skill? How about like they used to do in the old days? You had, Joel, you remember this, Brooklyn Tech, not Brooklyn Tech. There was aviation tech and stuff like that. Yes. And you go to high school and you'd learn a craft. So when you came out, you could have a job automatically. Am I right or wrong? Automatically.
Right.
They come out with degrees.
This whole week. Yeah. I just sat this whole week having a conversation about that. Like one of the things I got doing is I have in my I used to be a preacher. So
yeah,
when I used to have my church, that was my vision. My vision was always to have to create our own center where people can come learn trades. Because my family has a plumbing company, so we do contracting and fix houses and all that. So I always wanted to start a school, to have a tech school, because they took the tech schools out of public schools.
Right.
So what happens, and the reason why they did all this stuff, and this is the thing that people don't understand, is because the government is trying to become less governing. So they're trying to give more responsibility to churches and to places that's supposed to be. That's the purpose of nonprofits. The purpose of nonprofits was to take care of those things. But all the nonprofit people started taking the money and started doing things with it that it wasn't purpose for. So now everybody's talking about the government ain't doing all this stuff, and it ain't the government's responsibility. So it's time for us to like start back up to create these centers and things for people to be able to, you know what I mean? Like have a school where people can have arts and entertainment, where you can actually learn how to be an actor. You can learn how to do all these things that actually going to be able to allow you to make money when you're out of school. Because you now got some things you can go on to, like coming out of school and don't know nothing. These kids come out of school and don't have nothing to do.
Right, and then they have to work at idiotic jobs like McDonald's or something to get started.
With me over there at the deli, I know.
Or at the deli, ShopRite.
And it's so funny. I'm the oldest guy there. I'm the oldest guy there. I'm 20, 30, 40 years older than most of these people, right? And I do more work in the shift than they do the whole damn day. It's like,
Alan, that's your show, Al. You should write that one. The old guy works with the young guy at ShopRite.
Oh man,
It'd be a drama and a tragedy.
It's his own shit, because like even like they're like, when people call out, it was like, why the fuck are you calling out, man?
He shows them how to shop wrong.
Yeah, because they're like, it should be shop wrong at the deli. And,
That's right.
And the thing about the hardest thing about the deli really is just dealing with customers.
Okay.
That's all. It's just dealing with them all day long, because everybody is different. Everybody is fucking different. Everybody will order it different. Everybody wants a different thing. So it's only the full service is the only department that's a full service department. Even more than the cashiers, because they have to ask, oh, I want cheese, right? Because cheese is on one stand, meat is on the other. So they go, oh, let me get some cheese. So you get them cheese. Then they go, all right, let me get some ham. So you go to ham. And then they go, oh, let me get some Swiss cheese. Shit, I was just at the cheese, man. And nobody says that. They'll sit there and they go, okay. And I'm like, hey, listen to me. Next time you come up here, do all the meats first. Or do all the cheese first. Don't be running me back and forth. I'm too old for this shit crap. And they look at me and they're like,
this shit is comical.
Okay, because it's funny. It's like we're running back and forth. I ain't got time for that shit. Listen, give me all the meats. I do all the meats now, and then I do all the cheese when you want the cheese.
That's the show, man. That's the show. It's called The Deli.
The Deli. I call it the Deli Diaries. The Deli Diaries.
It's like, they gotta have pride in their
I
work.
tell you Deli Diaries every fucking day. You're like, really? Really? I mean, like, we close at 10 o'clock, right? And then you get, they go, what time do you close? I said, well, we close at 10, but don't get here at 10. Yeah, we close at 10, but do not get here at 10.
They hate that in retail.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm like, exactly what I just mean. I got a guy come in. It's like 20 minutes to 10. Everything is clean. He wants to come in here. He's on the phone. Yeah, man. Let me get, let me get some cheese. Blah blah blah. All right. So I get the cheese. Boom boom. So I get him like 4 items. It's in 5 minutes, in 15 minutes. I'm ready. I have to clean this shit up. You gotta go. He's like, oh man, hello. No, I'm at the deli, man. You want anything from the deli? I'm like, no, dude. You don't want anything from the deli, because that's it. You're done. The 4 is out. That's it. You're getting it. Go. Take your stuff and go. And then I start cleaning the machine. So he goes back there and he tells the manager. So the manager comes up and she's like, oh, you didn't want to cut? No, I ain't cutting no damn cheese for nobody. It's 5 minutes to 10. I'm out of here.
Now, everybody just imagine that Julio, who went through the public schools, if he had, instead of like at this age, if he had instead of spent his life knocking from one job to the other, but if he had been trained as a high school student to be an expert, for instance, in car repair, okay? Imagine he would have had his own business. He would already have been probably a millionaire based on his attitude about work, because you can hear it, that he's very diligent and he believes in what he's doing in terms of when he's doing it, he wants it done properly. He wants to do it properly.
Listen,
and he's honest also, supposedly.
You come to me and tell me, oh, I want to get roast beef from the pre-slice, the pre they put on the
yeah.
And I'm like, don't do that. I'll cut it for you. Come up here and I'll cut, because it's there for like 2-3 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna taste the same. It's nasty. I said, do not buy. They're like, no. I said, no, I'll cut it for you. I just don't want you to go over there and pick it up.
So he's living proof that what we're talking about could work. It really, it's a crime that it's not being done, because let's face it, the reality is most of the kids that are learning, so-called learning in public schools right now, what they really need is money when they come
They
out.
need money, exactly.
Right? They're already in bad shape. The parents maybe can't support them or on drugs or whatever. But if they have a skill that, if they apply themselves, that they could develop while they're in high school, that's a good beginning anyway. No matter what. It's like me with law. It's always something to fall back on. I'm still knocking it out with shows like this, but I have the money to do it, and I have the time because I have the education and I have the ability to make money. And that's really what we're talking about. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree. If they're a plumber or something, they can work on their own.
They can work, exactly.
Yeah, because if people are, like I found myself, you're dependent on a corporation, or that's not going to work that didn't work for me, because
Right.
there's nothing secure.
These kids, what they need to learn, especially in retail, they don't learn relationships at all. They have no sense of agree. They have no sense of conversation. They have nothing. It's like it's and then they get mad when people, oh, we got too many people. Well, that's retail, man. What the hell? What do you expect? That's what they come up here. But then again, I'm not gonna let you be right all the time. There are customers that are paying in the ass, and they're gonna run there and tell me, oh, I've been here too long. And I'm like, you don't have to wait, right? You don't have to wait. You can leave if you want. And I keep doing what I'm doing. And they're like, oh, you should say that to customers. Well, what the hell you want me to tell them? That, I'm going to stop everybody and take care of you? You got to wait. That's it. You don't want to wait. You don't have to wait. I tell them, you don't have to wait. You people can leave if you want to leave. You ain't got to wait for me. You ain't got to tell and complain to me that you've been here a half hour. That's not my problem. I'm here for 7 hours. I'm not complaining. Why are you complaining?
Even what you're talking about on a macro level of relationships and how to deal with customers, so to speak, there's no reason why the public schools should be ignoring that for 12 years. And then you come out and you're supposed to learn it in a week by working at McDonald's?
Yeah,
it's not right. No idea. They should have classes in interpersonal relationships. They should have, but you don't have to make it such fancy words. You could just call it a social class. What's that about? Oh, it's easy. You talk to people, you learn how to speak, you learn how to sell. Am I right, Buddy? Am I right, Emma? Yeah. This is important. These skills and I appreciate what Buddy said. Yeah, you're right, Buddy. In the old days, the parents would give it to you or the churches. But right now, we don't have that. So we've got to.
Now, all we got is the dumbing down of America.
Yes, exactly right. The stupidization of America. I totally agree. And it didn't just start today. It started probably even before Julio and I went to public school.
Well, this is why I wanted to add to the point of it is that the reason why it has to happen that way, because there is a greater expansion that we're going to. So you can't have, it's like moving from one house to another. During the transfer of moving, you're always going to have a whole bunch of chaos during the movement. So right now, all we've been going through over the last 15 years is a transfer of energy. So in the transfer, we're watching because we're in the physical and we're seeing it. We're just seeing the transfer, but we're not seeing the result after the transfer. It's because again, remember, we living in a universe where it's eternal. The shit doesn't end. So we read books, and when we read books, the injustice of a book is we forget process. So a lot of times you see something go from one thing to another thing, and you don't read process in books. You only read where they got from one point A to point B to point C to point D, but you don't see the timing in between. So we're in the timing of transferring power, where government is not going to have power anymore. It's going to be the people who rise up, who have been training, who have been operating to tap into power to be able to take power back. So that's why it looks the way it looks right now, because we're in the transfer.
Yeah.
Transfer. Remember that. You learned that right Alan, here, and real people get real.
Even in you, Alan, you being in Hollywood for so long, you literally were being trained to take a position. So you don't know all that you know now because you just know it. You know it because you've been through stuff. It's like the Karate Kid. It's like wax on, wax off. All that training, you don't know that you're programmed to now when I throw a punch, you know how to react automatically. But you didn't know that's what you was being trained for. because you was being trained to take a position. So every person is being trained to take a position. We just don't be realizing that we're going through something to take a position. A lot of times we're just reacting to the circumstances, and you don't realize, just be patient. You're going to see exactly what all this is in a little bit.
I just want to know when. I want to be there. I just don't want to not be there when that happens. That's what it is. It's like,
and that's really what's going on. We're about to take a position. We're about to take over and take certain positions that is being vacated.
Yeah.
Because people are vacating things because they understand their time is up. They don't have the energy anymore to take it further. That's why people want you to repeat history. That's why they're fighting so hard for you not to move into the new change. We want to repeat things and keep it the way it's always been.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to happen.
I think your time up for me. I have to go. So,
all right, Joe. We'll see you next week.
All right, ciao.
Joel, see you around,
Ciao.
buddy.
Ciao, man.
All right, Joe.
Well, I think we've hit on some interesting topics here in terms of really helping people and helping the society, where we're thinking outside of the construct of the problems that they see it as. Right. We don't see it that way. They see it as a racial problem. I don't see it as a racial problem. You guys don't see it as a racial problem. I don't see Buddy as a black guy, and that's the problem. I don't see Emma as a black. I don't see Julio as a Puerto Rican, and that's not the problem. If anything, the real problem is that there are people who see that as the problem.
Exactly.
And then they program people to see that.
Right, exactly. They're choosing. But I do want to thank, and I'm not ungrateful, I do want to thank the system for giving me the ability to think this way, because my parents would not have been able, and still would, my mother's still alive, would not be able to think this way.
Right.
I must say that it has come from the tools, and we go right back to the same point, that they gave me that I actually used way back when. Even if I didn't want to, I did homework. I did read. I did math, even though I didn't feel like it when I didn't want to. I had to survive it. I had to go through things like failing physics in order to say, hey, I was going to guess on the Regents because there's no way I could have won any. I said, let me just guess every question. And I did, and I came out with a 53. My point is, these are survival techniques that the society taught me. You know what I mean? For free, actually. So that much we do have to give it up to them. But by the same token, when you come out and what you find, if you don't have money or connections or both already, is that they didn't train you, like Buddy's saying, to go into the spot of, oh, let me be a Trump. Let me be a Kennedy. They didn't do that. What they gave you was enough to get you frustrated, but you're a cog and become a cog in the wheel.
Exactly. Yeah.
And become dependent on government
and or their system, which is really frightening.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you've got to have a job. You've got to have, and then even if you study entrepreneurship, like I've been studying it over the number of years, a lot what they don't tell you, like Buddy said, you pick up a self-help book, like I have one right here. It's pretty darn fucking good too. It's called How I Built This. You guys got to get this book. And it's a very cursory explanation of a lot of very successful people and how they didn't have all the backing and all that. But still, they leave out a lot. Because when you have to worry about just putting food on your own table and then you're trying to build a giant enterprise, there's a lot they're not telling you. Don't believe what you're watching on Shark Tank. That people say, oh, I spent $100,000 of my own money and we've been losing money for the last 5 years. But, you know, they look well fed. They got suits on. Come on. How could that be? You know what I'm saying? They're leaving out a lot of shit. You know what I mean? My point is, it's harder when you don't have money and you don't have the connections, even if you have the tools, if you will, because you've educated yourself and so forth. But my point is, we're hitting pay dirt now with our conversation.
So in other words, they telling you, oh, I spent $100,000, I'm losing money, but they didn't tell you that I got $2 million in the bank, right? That part they left out.
Or their rich grandfather who's putting up a trust fund for them and they're living on it or whatever. But my point is, or whatever the case may be, I'm not saying everybody's like that.
Oh, no, I know that, but
you know,
it's right. It's true. It's true because.
Or Damon Johns. Oh yeah, I walked around with FUBU sneakers and I sold door to door. Yeah, well, he probably was also selling drugs on the side. Not mentioning that. You know what I mean?
He forgot
like Julio, just like Julio.
he forgot that part. Well, you know, like sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get it done. I like, look, like
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
me,
it. But
to me, I sit there and go, I can't believe, I'm in the house, my house. I have a car. I have, I wasn't, like I don't think about it. You put your nose down and you keep going, and then you look up and you're like, oh, it says I sit down late at night and go, God, I'm a lucky motherfucker. I'm not educated. I have a high school diploma. That's the only thing I can brag about. Hey, I told, my prime was the 8th grade. After that, it went downhill. The prime of 8th grade, it went downhill after that. But
what I'm saying is, I'm not, me personally, I'm not angry. I'm not resentful, if you will. I just now understand
but at least
that what I was taught as basic skills are great, but what I thought I could do with those basic skills without money and contacts is not so great, and that's what they're not telling you. That's exactly. They're not telling you that.
That's the purpose, though. That's the greatness of it, because I discover things based upon me searching for answers. So if everybody knew what the answers was, then you would have a society that would never become creative, because creativity is birthed out of struggle. So
right.
When you go through it and you go through stuff and it's something in you, it's like, man, it's something missing here. Like for me, it was something missing. I went all over the place doing all kind of stuff, and I didn't get any satisfaction for anything that I was doing.
Right.
So I had to figure out there's something missing. Something's missing, and I don't know what that thing is missing, but I got to figure out what in me is feeling this missing. So it made me search, and it made me to start to tap into universal energy. So when I started realizing that that's what I was missing, because I saw everybody doing everything else. I have successful family members who make money. If you want to think about success, just thinking money, I had family members who were making money. They would have businesses all over the place, and they had lived in nice homes and all that kind of stuff. But their marriage was terrible, or or something was missing. So I was like, I don't want to exchange anything for anything. I want it all. So I need to tap into that which will give me the ability to have it all. I don't want to choose.
Right.
I don't want to choose money or a good marriage. I don't want to choose money or a good family. I don't want to choose a house or this. Like, I want it all. So when I started tapping into the energy, I realized, oh shit, this shit really is about people mentally planting things within you, and then you really believe it, and that's what you're missing out because you're not tapping into the whole of who you are.
Right. So one example of a guy who, and you probably most of you know more about him than I do, is Tyler Perry, who worked outside of the Hollywood system in a very difficult business, which happens to be our business, show business. And he started in Atlanta, not even like a major, like New York or even Miami, not a major entertainment capital. And he's built himself up to where he's calling the shots. He sold a multi-million-dollar studio to buy an even bigger studio in Atlanta. He doesn't compromise. People either love him or hate him, and he can accept that. He's not swayed by people. It's stupid, but your characters are dumb. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I admire that. I really, really admire that, because he was able to let them come to him, if you will. But he built it from strength. He built it from his own coterie of people that he would bus people to, like Buddy, something like what you were talking about doing many years ago, busing people to shows, so that he built up his network to the point where, like, he puts out a movie, boom, it's going to be successful, and people really feel that they. Okay, you know what I mean? So my point is, staring us in the face right now, all of us, is success and how to get there. But you got to kind of have a discerning eye as to who you should line up your stars with in terms of even just following their path. I look at myself as kind of like a Tyler Perry. Like, I'm still, like Buddy said, still searching. But as I turn with writing and all that, instead of just being an actor or doing improv groups, which is creating in the moment and then it's gone, I create something quite different with the writing. So we're going to see how, and even this show can be an arm of that. But let's, even if we have to turn this show upside down to do this, to get more people to be excited, to be more aware of what they should be thinking and how to think, and not telling them what to think. You could be a total Trump supporter. You could be a total Biden supporter. If that helps you, that's great. Yeah. But otherwise, get on with it and come into our fold, where we're going it's not that we laughingly call the media our enemy. They're not really our enemy, but they're sort of our oppressor. They really are. Because they'll make you think, like I said about movie reviews, oh, this movie's fantastic. Then you go see it and you're like, huh?
It's not that good.
You get what I'm point? But you spent your money. They're not, like I always say to Julio, they're not talking about us yet.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Exactly.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's wrap it up here.
On the time. Anyway, thanks, buddy, for coming on. You want to come on next week too?
Yeah. Send me just make sure. Just send me like a day in advance, and I have it. Then I'll be on.
All right,
you
Emma,
got that?
thank
You got that, Reverend Ken? You got that?
He got it. He's frozen, but he got it. And I'll get it to him.
He got it. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Emma Jean, for coming.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
We love having her. I told Michael already, the Michael who referred her, I told him that we love having her, and she's been a great addition.
Thank you, guys. I know.
Lenny, everybody. Angel wasn't here this week, but she'll be back
Alan
next
Chan,
week.
the new producer of the New World. He's the new producer of the New World, Mr. Alan Chan, also known as Richard Allen Chen. That's going to be his writing little name over here.
Yeah, right.
We've been doing that for years. It's just that, I guess the timing wasn't there, but now the timing is there.
Well, we're in COVID. We're all locked down. What am I going to do?
We're locked down. Anyway,
It's on.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to email you the one that he got. So, you can email Jim Allen.
Yeah, all my scripts. I'll put my scripts on all these people's emails, so they'll have it. Yeah.
Because Buddy wrote a couple of movies himself. Right, Buddy? He wrote a few things. He wrote a lot of stuff, and it's gonna be fun. I think we're learning each other, and like I said, people need relationships, and they don't know how to do that. Like I noticed that in working at the deli. It's funny, I look at the deli. It's probably the least paying job I ever had for a long, long time.
But you learn the most.
It's probably the best job I ever had for a long, long time. So I don't understand. I don't get it, but it doesn't bother me. I like it. It's people come up and I don't let them roll on me. You know how in retail oh no, the customer's always right. No, you're not. I'm sorry. It's like, if you're right, I give it to you. But if you're wrong, I'm going to say something. And I don't say it mean. I just say it in a way, try to be funny about it and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, okay, they get it. Some of them don't get it. They get kind of pissed off and report me, but it's okay. They can fire me. It's all right. It's all good.
All right, let's wrap it up there. Guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week on Real People Get Real.
All right, see y'all.
Take care. Right.
RealPeopleFunny.com.
RealPeopleFunny.com.
RealPeopleFunny.com. RealPeopleFunny.com. Yeah. Anyway, this is Julio and Alan signing off. You guys have a great, and of course, Ms. Emma Jean, you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Remember, no bad days, only better ones. You can tell your friends it's okay. All right? All right, one.
All right. Bye-bye. Make it a great day.
And that's the end of our show. Going No. You're supposed to bite it, not take the whole thing. Mix chocolate on her face.
Wow.
You don't even like that. Do you like natural mix?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I love you too.
Mickey. You're so cute. What is it? It's having a party. Look, honey. Come look. See, they still think I'm on. Mm-hmm. But look, watch the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
I know, right? Oops.